Bart. We are back, man. Dude, how long has it been? It's been a month and a half.
Been a month and a half.
Since we done our last episode of Mind Your Business podcast.
Yep, it's been too long.
Way too long. We took a bit of a hiatus. You know, 2023 was rough.
Christmas
Christmas has been over for a month, Alan.
Well, Christmas and post-Christmas.
Well, it took us that long to get this next guest. We have got a super guest here tonight.
Super guest. Better than Santa, I would say.
Yeah, definitely better looking than Santa. For sure.
There you go. You want to go ahead and bring her in so we can get her in the introduction and just start talking?
Sure.
Hello, Linda.
Hi, Justin.
I was waiting for
a big introduction.
I was like, do I talk yet?
Yeah, no. This is Linda Strickland.
Yes.
And you are a realtor.
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 Not realtor.
Not realtor.
Oh, wow. Already.
That's like the whole thing with nuclear weapons.
Yeah, wow. I'm already getting corrected.
All right.
Wow. She's feisty. Already getting corrected here. Oh, man. So, we live in North Carolina, but I feel like we're in Seattle with all the rain we've gotten lately.
Had a lot of rain.
A lot of rain. And if you're a Twilight fan, living in Forks, right? Ain't that the town that the Twilight movies
You talking
are?
about the vampire movies?
Is that
Yes.
glitter on your skin I see, Justin?
Yeah.
Glittery?
I'm a vampire.
That's what I thought.
I am. I was definitely Team Edward over Team Jacob.
Really?
Yes.
Team Edward?
Yes.
I thought it was last names.
Wow.
Isn't it like Cullen and something else?
Yeah, the Cullens.
The color. I don't know what Jacob's last name is though. So I went Edward.
I think it was.
Just because you didn't know his last name.
Yeah. And I think honestly, I think I'm part vampire too. I hate light. Okay, so these cameras right now are like. That's why my skin
Who says that?
I do.
I hate light.
I do too.
See?
I do too.
Linda's in it.
I don't like light.
The very first thing, like, the Lord did.
Let there be light.
Literally light.
We're going to hell.
Alan, you're always trying to turn me into an anti-God.
Justin spoke up. I don't like this at all.
So, so when I go to sleep, all right, big thing for me is no light. Okay, no light. And I'm so weird about it, OCD about it. Like if there's a TV in a hotel room, if I'm going out of town or anything like that, and the TV has the little red light on it, that when it's off, I have to cover that up with something.
Do you take stuff to cover it up with, or do you just like
I just
throw a sock over it? Or
yeah, I throw a sock over it.
He travels with some electrical
I
tape.
got some black duct tape in here.
My own sock.
Cover this light up.
Yeah, so I think I'm part vampire. I don't like full moons, all right, because obviously that's when the werewolves come out.
Yeah.
And
For sure.
it brightens up the night. So I mean,
Good Lord.
it's 2024. We're off to a great start. We're back better than ever. Don't you agree, Alan?
Justin hates UV.
I hate it. That's why I'm so white.
Get this man some beta carotene. Pronto.
Please.
Vitamin D.
Please. So this is Mind Your Business podcast. We are sponsored by Nelon-Cole Termite and Pest Control, as well as Nelon-Cole Moisture and Water. And I'm telling you right now,
Water.
give them
That
boys a
picture
call.
of water is rocking right now.
Rocking right now. Speaking of moisture, I started thinking 2024, there's been a lot of stuff that's been canceled, right? And, you talk about cancel culture and all that stuff. And then the one word, though, that I don't know why people don't like is moist.
Moist?
Yeah. Why doesn't people like that
I've
word?
met people who just...
They just cringe when they hear that word.
Yeah.
Linda, what do you think about that word?
It doesn't bother me.
It doesn't-
No, but I've heard
You've
a lot
heard
of people say they
that,
don't
right?
like it. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but so what are you supposed to call a cake that's not dry?
Moist.
Undry.
Undry. Yeah. No, moist.
For the moist, right?
Undry
Can't call it a
cake.
wet cake. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like you can't call it a wet cake.
No.
That sounds like it's like soggy and
A
crap.
watery cake?
Like
I don't-
a soggy biscuit or something.
That, in fact, but that's a good term for cake. Ooh, this cake is so moist.
Yeah, it
Might be
is.
a good thing, yeah.
It is, but I know a lot of people that don't like the word moist.
But not your crawl space. Oh, this crawl space is very moist.
No, you don't want that.
No,
that's the last thing.
my
you want.
insulation is moist.
Yeah, that is not a good terminology for your crawl space or insulation, for that matter. So going back to our Santa podcast, I got a beef with Santa. Okay, I got a beef with Santa.
What? He hates light and Santa.
And lemons.
That is, listen, that's my beef. Okay, so Linda, you said you listened to the last podcast, the Santa podcast.
I did listen to some of it.
Okay, did you hear
As
the
much
part?
as she could.
She listened to the first 5 minutes and said, "I'm done with this."
No, I did listen to some of it.
So did you see the part or listen to the part where Santa made me to get on the nice list? I had to eat lemon flavored stuff. Did you see that?
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
So just a little context. I hate lemon, anything, lemon flavored anything. The only thing I like lemon in is my sweet tea, and that's it.
Not
Okay?
even Skittles or
No.
Starburst.
Okay, first of all, Skittles all taste the same.
What about fruit stripe gum lemon?
No.
Which, by the way,
That's
I found
old
out,
school right there. Fruit
And
stripe
I
gum.
found out a week ago, not to mess up your story, Justin, but I found out about a week ago it's been discontinued. No more.
I'm saying I haven't seen it in years. I
No
used to
more.
love that stuff.
That's because it sucked.
It sucks after like 3 seconds. Yes,
Yeah,
for that 3 or 4 seconds, it's the best.
I was
gum
going to
you'll
say
ever
for the
taste.
3 or 4 seconds, it's really good.
Yeah. So no more fruit stripe. Please continue, Justin. I'm sorry.
No, I mean, just talk about a discontinued gum that sucked. That's fine.
Lemons.
Lemons. So anyway, when I was a kid, I ate a lemon-filled donut that my babysitter, Penny, forced me to eat. Shout out to Penny. Still hate you. I was sick 3 days after that for 3 days straight. Like, just sick as a dog. My beef with Santa is because I got on the nice list, and he got me my dunks. Here, see them?
Oh,
I got my dunks for Christmas.
Santa came through.
Yeah.
yeah.
But he made me eat lemon stuff. I had to take a shot of lemon juice, pure concentrated lemon juice. I ate a lemon pie. That's all I did. But I was that
Turn
couple
it up.
days. A couple days later, I literally got sick again.
Oh gosh.
I was sick for a week. Now, people
Was
say
it worth it?
no. So people say, listen,
Not even for
I
the
would
dunks.
disagree. You have nice shoes.
Yeah.
that's true. Yeah, that's true.
It got on the nice list.
I did get on the nice list, but people would say it was flu B. No, it was because of daggum lemons and Santa. That's what got me sick, not the flu.
It's a trauma response.
It is.
Yeah.
Thank you, Linda, for
I
feeling
just
my
remember you
pain.
turning up that lemon juice and Bart saying, "That's a lot of lemon juice."
Yeah, that was. I mean,
It was a lot of lemon juice. It was a lot of lemon juice,
Oh man, that was rough.
straight vitamin C.
and it was tough. It was tough, but yeah. So I was sick. I was sick for a whole week with the flu. After the
I
lemon,
mean, even all the vitamin C didn't help you.
no.
If only he had spent some time in the sun,
Yeah.
might have made him feel a little better.
might have. We got an awesome show for you guys tonight. We got Linda. Like I said, she's a say it again for me.
Realtor.
Realtor.
Real toll.
She's
on the
she's a
cup.
realtor.
It's on the cup. There's 2 syllables. Realtor.
So that's unbelievable.
Now we
Randy.
got to make sure we get this right. The rest
Yeah,
of the
I
night.
know. Like she's
think-
gonna correct me like 5 times.
I think
No,
we need to
this is-
give her a ruler so she can start slapping hands.
Slapping hands.
We get when we do lunch and learns and things like that with the Gaston Association of Realtors. Some of the things they teach us is how to properly say the
Really?
word realtor.
Realtor.
Yes, because when we get on board with them, you're part of the National Association of Realtors, your state, local, and all the things. So they want you to know how to pronounce it, and it's very commonly mispronounced as realtor.
Why does everybody put the A in there? I mean, where does that come from?
I think it's an I. That they're
Oh, okay.
like.
Wow, she's correcting left and right. She's
Realtor.
correcting even the wrong pronunciation. What is happening right here? What kind of guest do we have?
In my
What
brain,
podcast is this?
An educated
mine.
one.
Wow.
Oh,
No, I
Realtor.
mean, in my brain, I always think people put an I in it. Maybe not.
So it's
I would have went
realtor.
with Bart. I would have said an A. Realtor.
Real la la.
Realtor.
Okay, maybe so.
Boom, Linda. You just got corrected.
Either way, it's wrong.
Okay, either way, you're wrong. Yeah,
true.
exactly.
That's true. Realtor. What's some other words that people mispronounce
Nuclear. Nuclear.
out of nowhere? Alan coming off the top tongue back. You know what I'm saying? Like nuclear.
what about Caribbean or Caribbean?
It's Caribbean.
But isn't both of those acceptable though? Like Billy Ocean had that song Caribbean Queen. Caribbean.
But it could have been
Please sing us more.
Caribbean Queen. Yeah. That's right.
Caribbean Queen.
Yeah.
It wouldn't have the same ring, would it?
No.
Caribbean.
No.
Caribbean Queen.
Yeah.
Nah.
Wouldn't have it.
So you
What
had
about
to, you had to change
Jimmy
it.
Buffett could be pronounced Jimmy Buffet?
That is true, but it wouldn't be the same, you know.
Yeah,
so I
think the
mean, you
spelling's
gotta.
different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't
And-
you have to put the little, whatever that little sign is?
Apostrophe?
No, it's the little dash that makes it look like you have to say it like with a
Or he
little-
could have opened a
roll of your
buffet
tongue.
and had Jimmy Buffett's buffet.
That's right.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah. Shout out to Jimmy Buffett.
He's dirt nap.
Yeah, Jimmy's
more.
deceased now.
That was tough. That was a tough loss.
Yeah, it was. It hurt me.
That was last year, right? 2023, right?
Yep.
Yeah, that was tough. That was tough. So what about some other words or like?
Well, he died of something you wouldn't have to worry about.
Yes.
Skin cancer.
Sun exposure. Leave it to Bart. Cracking on Jimmy Buffett.
So the other
Buffett.
thing I've been thinking about in 2024 is not just words, how to pronounce them. You know, I'm trying to be better since I am on a podcast. You know, you're supposed to be able to talk, right?
It helps.
I mean, it does help. But sayings, like for example, what are some sayings that you've heard that does not make sense, but you like think about it and like, but I say it anyway, but it does not make sense. Like, for example, one I have is a penny for your thoughts, but I don't want your 2 cents. So why do you want my penny for my thoughts, but you don't want my 2 cents? Have you heard that before?
Not together.
wait.
Together, no.
Hold on. Have you heard those sayings?
Yes.
Okay. That's what I'm saying. I'm just saying, like, why is it a penny for my thoughts, but like if I start to give you my thoughts, you're like, I don't want your 2 cents. Why is it a difference there? Why is it 1 penny and then 2 cents?
I'm going to refer to my Realtor on this one.
Yeah. Refer to your Realtor. What do you think?
I don't know. I think it's a good question.
It's a great
You
question.
ask her to give you her 2 cents.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. And she doesn't want a penny for my thoughts, especially right now with all this correction that's happening.
Realtor.
Realtor.
Alan, put it on the poll. What is some thoughts?
Realtor or Realtor?
Oh, that's going to come back unanimous, Realtor.
Are we going nuclear? I can't even.
Wow.
$20
for an edit.
Heck no, that's staying.
That's staying.
That's an honest one.
Do y'all have any more like sayings that you've heard?
It's like a tongue twister.
It's like,
Black bug bled.
what
black
does
blood.
that even mean? I got one. I got another one. You ready? We'll play it by ear. What is it?
That's
What does that
that's
even mean?
musician talk.
I know it's musician talk, but when you say what are you doing tonight? You want to go out and bowl?
It means you'll
And
improvise.
then again, the person goes, "Oh, we'll just play it by ear." Like, what are you gonna do? What are you playing?
We'll improvise.
Yeah, it's like showing up and they say it's a blues 8-bar blues in B flat or whatever. You play it by ear.
Play it by.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
12-bar blues
There's some things.
in A.
There's some things in our society. I'm like, why are we still even doing this?
Like light.
Yeah, like,
Yeah.
like God,
we could live in a world
Why do
of
we still
darkness.
have lemon?
why God did you make lemons
And light.
and light? Because I hate both.
Oh.
And why did you make Penny the babysitter?
Penny, you are famous. We have made you famous.
I don't even know if she's living still.
We got to find her and get her as a guest.
Speaking
I
of,
wish we could. That'd be awesome.
speaking of light and vampires and all that stuff, what would you say your top 3 vampire movies are?
Oh, Twilight 1, 2, and 3. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Top 3
Twilight's
vampire.
only good when they're fighting. The rest of the time, it's just corny to me.
Yeah.
I will
Fight.
love you forever.
Top 3 vampire movies. I'm gonna have to come back to you on that because I gotta like think about it. Salem's Lot. That's a classic. That's an older one, but Salem's Lot's a real good.
I got one that's.
What about the Blade movies?
I was about to say
Blade's always
has
good.
Got to be in the first one. Yeah.
Blade's always good. So yeah, I have to think about the The other ones.
What do you think, Linda?
Linda, you got any vampire movies?
It's in my head, but I don't remember the name of it.
Interview with a Vampire?
It's the one.
That's
That's the Brad Pitt and Tom Cruise.
Oh, yeah. I don't think I've ever watched that one.
Hold on, Google's my best friend. I think it has Aaliyah in it.
Aaliyah. Wait. I can see that.
Alan's like a movie buff.
That's why I said it's in my head. I can see it, but I don't.
Yeah, this is Mind Your Business
Queen
podcast.
of the Damned?
Queen
Yes.
of the Damned.
Yes.
Yeah.
Queen
That's
of the
it.
Damn.
Yeah.
Queen of the
Is
Damned.
that a horror movie?
Who you talking to?
It's a vampire movie.
I know, but is it like a scary? Because you have
It's an
some
older
vampire.
one.
Is it scary? Like it's supposed to be in the horror genre?
Loosely, I think.
Kind of. Not really.
Not really.
No.
Queen of the Damned, yeah.
Queen of the Damned. Yeah, you have to go watch it.
I'm gonna have to watch it tonight.
What was that
Netflix.
vampire movie came out in the early 80s? Was it called Once Bitten or something of that nature?
I don't know.
Wasn't that a kind of a comedy one?
Yeah, I think it
Yeah.
was.
Yeah.
It just hit me. Dusk Till Dawn. That's a awesome.
Oh,
movie.
that's
Yes.
a good one.
Yeah.
Yes. With Quentin Tarantino.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I like his
That's
films.
like 2 movies in one.
It really is.
Yeah, because when they finally
Like
are
you think
in the
it's
bar,
over and then it's not.
it totally changes.
No.
I only remember the movie because the girl, I don't know her name, but the girl, that's who everybody tells me I look like. I don't know her name though in real life.
In Dusk Till Dawn?
Yes.
Oh, we're gonna have to look.
The
Alan,
daughter.
get on it.
Oh, no, the daughter.
Yes.
The daughter.
Yes.
Alan,
I'm on it, brother. I'm on it.
research. So yeah, we got a great show. We're gonna talk to you about the Realtor stuff, real estate, all that stuff for you.
Being a realtor.
Being a realtor, and how you got started. Like you just told us before we came on air that you kind of just broke off and now you're doing your kind of own thing. So we'll get into that and how that came about and some other questions. Bart, you got anything to add to our conversation?
Not at this point. I'm just excited to get to the meat.
The meat,
Yes.
the meat and
The
potatoes.
meat and potatoes.
Yeah, we love food around
The
here.
man loves his ham.
Yeah, you should have said ham.
Yeah, get to the ham. Let's
The ham. So 2 things that you're going to find out about us, Linda, is we love movies and we love food. So
Juliette Lewis was the daughter.
Yes.
Yes.
That's her name. I was going to say I think it's Juliet something.
So in the you need to do a side by side shot.
I don't think I look like her, but I hear it from a lot of people.
I'm trying to picture her in my mind, and then all I see is you right now. So
She was in somebody's gonna call me out and I'm gonna be wrong. Natural Born Killers.
I don't have nothing for you on that.
And her dad was also a famous actor, Jeffrey Lewis.
See any kind of Daniel Day?
Daniel Day-Lewis.
Daniel Day-Lewis.
He's an English actor.
So things that's happened since we. I can see it. Let's see. Here,
I don't see
Let's
it.
get this. Can you get this?
Yeah, I can throw one up on the screen too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I see that. I see that a little bit.
I don't.
Audience, what do you think?
Hooray.
Put it on the poll. Does Linda look like what's her name?
Juliette Lewis.
There you go. Does she look like that? I can see it a little bit.
I don't.
Just a little bit, like maybe the hair and stuff.
She's changed her hair color in a lot of different movies. Sometimes she has
Yeah.
light colored hair, but the dark hair like that, I can see it. Yeah.
Yeah. So Bart, a lot has happened since we've last been on air. We've crowned a national champion in college football.
Yes.
Michigan, surprise there.
For
Yep.
stealing
Nick
stuff.
Saban has retired.
Santa said something about that.
He did. What about Santa?
Yep.
What about Santa? Linda is going to be absent of this conversation because he has no idea what we're talking about.
Well, if she would
Bill-
jump in, that'd be even funnier.
I know, right? Bill Belichick, no longer a New England Patriot anymore.
Nope.
Ask her what she thinks about that.
What do you think about that, Linda?
I know absolutely nothing about sports.
There you go. That's the Patriot way. I'm trying to think of anything. Oh, and Jim Harbaugh just signed a contract with the Chargers, so he wins the
He's
national
going to coach
champion.
Crest?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Yes, he is,
exactly.
actually.
Excellent.
It's the
Exactly.
best job in football.
Yes.
Oh, wait. I do know something about sports.
What's that?
Somebody got traded. I don't remember his name. He got traded from the Panthers to somebody else, and now his I think $13 million mansion is on the market.
Oh, that was
So
Christian
I
McCaffrey.
only know that. Yes.
Yes, McCaffrey's selling his last
Asset.
property.
Not-
Yes.
man.
Really?
So
Yes.
he's not coming back.
He's not coming back.
Are you the realtor on that
sad.
one?
Unfortunately not.
I hear he's looking for a
The
good
commission
realtor.
on that one. We'll get into it.
$13 million.
I think it's like 13.6 or something.
That's crazy.
So
You
it's a
still got
relatively
Cam
small
Newton.
house.
You still got Cam Newton to look out for. He's going to need to sell some property for
Yes,
long.
he is. Yes, he is.
And now we have Kyle Lowry coming to the area from the Heat.
Oh yeah,
Is he coming? What?
Yeah.
Yeah, they did.
The
They
Hornets
traded for.
Yep.
They
Really?
traded Scary
Yeah, and
Terry,
a first round draft pick.
2027.
So if Kyle needs to buy a house,
There you go.
he can call Linda Strickland Real
There
Estate.
you
There you
go.
go. Oh,
Kyle
what a
Lowry.
Yes, he
plug.
watches all the podcasts.
He does.
Yep.
He's our famous guest.
Kyle
Or
Lowry.
watch. He's actually going to be on the next one.
You heard it here first. The first exclusive interview with new Charlotte Hornet, Kyle Lowry.
That's such a lie. But But
Morgan
anyway,
probably knows him.
so
Yeah, true.
So Harbaugh, he wins the national championship in Michigan, and then decides, you know what? I've done all I need to do here. I've stole signs. I've won games.
Yeah.
National champion. Taking it back to the NFL.
He's probably thinking if I come back, I'm gonna get fined, and the university will never get to play for anything else again for 10 years.
Exactly. So he's like, I'm out of here. Why? And he took literally the best job in the NFL, the Los Angeles Chargers,
Great quarterback. Yeah.
Yep.
and they got a team to win. So a lot of stuff. I mean, 2023 after we left, I mean, just like everything went to. Never mind. I won't say that line. Have you heard that saying before?
I was like, are you waiting on me to say it?
I was actually. I was like, you gonna finish it?
No, not yet.
no.
Justin
Okay.
threw it to you and you missed.
I did. I threw it.
I saw it.
It's like a lob.
You have to wait till I start talking, and then I won't even know I'm cursing.
Oh,
But-
yes.
Yeah.
All right. Well, with that, we're going to take a quick break so we can get back with Linda Kirsten.
That sounded like my last name when you said that.
Tonight, Linda cursing.
Linda Cursing. All right. So we'll be back. We'll get into the ham, as Bart likes to say it, of the questions of who you are, what you do, how you do it, how you got started in it. Really excited to get to know you a little better on that level and just have more fun with you as we are on your podcast, right? Mind your business.
Mind your business.
We're back. Alan,
Yo.
did you miss us?
Yes.
Yeah, I know you did.
Yeah, we should have done this every day.
Every day.
every day.
Mitch.
A podcast every day.
I was just sitting at home thinking,
365.
365.
I need to
Dang,
see those
she's
guys.
fine. Anybody know that song?
I do.
Yep, I knew it.
Yes. Yes.
Actually, I only remembered the song because I saw a TikTok video of there's a famous meteorologist that
Yes.
likes to
Yeah, I've
use
seen
the
it.
lines.
He
Yeah.
uses the lines in his weather like stuff, and it's pretty.
Yes.
He does it pretty well. That's pretty awesome. All right, so we'll be back with more on your Mind Your Business podcast, more with Linda Strickland, and stay with us if you want to still continue to have fun in 2024. If not, then go suck one.
I can't say that.
Yes, we can. Why can't we? I'm talking about a limit.
Oh, that's different.
Yeah, we'll be back.
Attention home buyers. Call Nelon-Cole Termite and Pest Control before purchasing your new home to avoid getting stuck with extensive damage, typically not covered by homeowners insurance. Nelon-Cole Termite and Pest Control will inspect your home for prior or present wood-destroying insects and moisture. Call Nelon-Cole Termite and Pest Control today to schedule your free estimate at 1-800-7-THE-WEB and receive $25 off any new service from Nelon-Cole Termite and Pest Control.
Welcome back to Mind Your Business podcast. We're happy that you have joined us tonight or this morning or afternoon or twilight. No, man. I had to get it in there in 2024. You know, it's the first time, so had to get it in there. But we're happy that you're here with us. We are here with Miss Linda Strickland, and we're going to get into your business and what you do and have a little more fun with you. But I gotta say, we're sponsored by Nelon-Cole. Actually, it's not even. I said it wrong. I just said it wrong. I said Nelon-Cole. It's not even that.
I thought you said Neeland. No?
No. Nelon-Cole. termite and pest control and moisture and water, but you thought it was what?
Nelon-Cole.
Nelon-Cole. Yeah, so who cannot pronounce now?
But Bart was telling us some of the common mispronunciations.
Yeah, we got what? Nelson-Cole.
Nelson-Cole's very common. Neon-Cole.
Neon.
I love that.
This one person called one time and they literally said, yeah, can I is this Nelson Code? I said, are you looking for some medicine or something? Like, what are you talking about right now? So yeah, we get a lot of different stuff when it comes to the name that sponsored this podcast.
Well, I don't think I'm going to be able to change it.
That's okay.
You can continue. I don't know if I'm going to be able to change Realtor.
That's a tough one.
You got to change that
Realtor.
one.
Realtor.
Realtor.
Real turd.
No. No. That's what he's going to call me by the end of the night. But
Real
no.
turd.
You're a real turd. Anyway, Linda, how long have you been a realtor?
A little over 4 years.
4 years.
Wow.
Okay.
That's awesome. How did you get into it? What made you want to get into selling houses besides the money?
She likes to eat.
Yeah.
Food.
You want the truth or a lie?
Oh, I want the truth.
No, wait. I want to hear the lie.
Okay.
This could be great.
Let's go live.
Well,
Let's hear
I
about
could
it.
just say for the money. So I can't disclose too much about it, but my wife and I bought our first house in 2017, and we used a realtor. And let's just say some things went wrong, and we were improperly advised. And I am a very proactive person, so I called the lender and asked for my file, and they sent me 500 pages, and I studied those 500 pages for 2 years.
Oh, wow.
And I wanted to know, how was I that naive? How did I not know? And the truth was, I was a first-time home buyer. I didn't know anything.
Were
Right.
you ripped off in some way?
And I can't disclose too much
Just
about it.
Oh,
But
right.
we won't get into the logistics. But the point is, I did read the file for a couple of years, and I wanted to know what went wrong. And then I was over at my cousin's house one day, and his wife was like, I think I'm going to take a real estate class. And she was like, do you want to do it? And I was like, yeah, sure. You know, it's like, whatever, let's do it. And then I got in there and realized that, wow, I really didn't know anything.
Yeah.
But reading my file really helped me. So needless to say, I passed everything the first time with flying colors. And my first year in real estate, I think I sold 33 houses on 36 sides.
Wow.
Wow, that's amazing.
So how strenuous is the process to become a realtor?
Well, it depends. What's your IQ? I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I know that was
What
ugly.
do you think my IQ is?
Now you're
No.
going to get a lie from Justin. Yeah.
No.
200.
Really, it really. Yeah, no.
No.
It really depends, I think, on, well, obviously your IQ, but also I think that you have to be proactive to be a realtor. And I think that that's where, even if you can get through the class, even if you can pass state and national, can you actually do it? And you can Google the statistics. I think the last time I Googled, I think the average broker or realtor sells 5 or 6 houses a year. I
That's
think
it?
it is.
How do they make them?
Wow.
Or maybe it's 10 to 12. It's it's a really low number,
Yeah.
and not what I personally think of, like whether I'm a realtor now or prior to being a realtor. When you think about realtors, I think most of us think that most of realtors, they sell a lot of houses. Like that's,
Right.
I think, the public's opinion.
Right.
Certainly my opinion. Why would you not? But no, apparently that's not.
So like the average is like 5 or 6.
It's either 5 or 6 or 10 to 12. It's
Wow. A
year?
very low. Yeah.
Wow.
Yes.
Well, I've always heard that 10% of the realtors sell 90% of the real estate.
I mean, I don't know if those statistics are true, but I would agree with that.
And I think that would just be your work ethic.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what I would think.
And your IQ.
Plus, you got.
I mean,
Well, what I
She's all
noticed-
about that IQ.
well, no, it's not. I know that
You
sounds
either have it
ugly.
or you
no,
don't. Yeah.
Bart and I and Keith and I have had conversations about, the knowledge that I do have as a realtor is, in my experience is not the typical realtor knowledge. A lot of realtors are like, I'm just the realtor. That's it. I'm not the lender. I'm not the home inspector. I'm not any other person.
Yeah.
And while we're not those people, we absolutely should be competent in those areas.
Right.
If I take you to show you a house, I shouldn't have to call Bart to tell you need a French drain and possibly a sump pump.
Right.
I should know based on what you've got going on.
You think some of that stems from how you kind of got burned?
The 500 pages.
2017.
I know. No wonder it took you 2 years to read it. 500 pages.
That's a lot of pages.
Hey, I didn't say I only read it once.
But do you think some of that stems
no.
from that? Like you just want to be like the best realtor that you can be as far as representing your buyers or even the sellers?
Or your sellers.
Yeah.
Yes and no. What I was told by my public speaking teacher in college is that it's a trauma response, and Linda has to be a perfectionist, and she has to be proactive, and she has to know everything. So, and she said it's wholeheartedly a trauma response.
I'm assuming you made an A in that class because you love to talk, huh?
I actually had a lot of trouble in public speaking.
Really?
Wow.
Don't seem like that.
Wow.
Well, not when I talked about real estate. I
Yeah.
can talk about real estate to anybody. I'm not shy. It doesn't bother me. But when we got into the more personal speeches,
Yeah.
nope, can't do it. Yes, I did make an A in that class. And most of my other classes. Would you like to see my transcript?
I would. I want to see your
I'm
GPA.
imagining
My
she has
current GPA is 3.83 at Appalachian State University.
Wow.
Current.
Oh, so she's an Appalachian girl.
Yep.
I'm a G-Dub boy.
Hey,
so
didn't you go there for a wrestling camp?
I did go there for a wrestling camp once.
Yeah, once.
I am a current student.
Okay.
I'm not a current student. I graduated, I don't know, back in 2012, I think.
And what was
Right,
that?
no way.
I can't remember. What was that GPA?
Was it a 4.0?
No, it was not.
Well, me either, so don't feel bad.
It wasn't, and it wasn't as high as yours. I think I had a
3.83 's
three.
pretty
I think
good.
I have a 3.57 or something like that. That was mine.
Well, in our defense, something I learned at App State that I guess I just didn't realize is, I guess I would call it a weighted GPA. That might not be the right terminology.
No, you're right.
Like getting an A doesn't get you a 4.0. Like
Right.
you might get like a 3.7 or something like that. So that was a little crushing for me. But because I do
'Cause you're a
prefer to make,
perfectionist.
I am,
Yeah.
and I made a B+ last semester and I almost died.
Mm.
So, yeah, but
Well, you're still on the dean's list, though.
I am on the dean's list. I'm very excited about that.
Dean.
The dean list.
I did go down to part-time this semester because I do too much.
So what are you going to school for now?
My Bachelor of Business.
Okay, nice.
Well, now, you and I were talking, and you also teach school, don't you?
I do/did. I am certified as a real estate instructor, and last summer-ish, I guess summer, I did teach a pre-licensing course. So yes, I teach brokers how to be brokers.
How
So
tough?
who else would you want for a realtor? Somebody who teaches real estate.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, my gosh.
I mean-
that's a
So I've got to know all the
The best-
rules,
right.
the laws,
I feel like
everything.
Bart's really digging in on that word. He's really trying.
He really is.
Yeah, I'm taking traction on that word.
I don't think I've ever corrected him.
You haven't.
Correct.
I don't think I have.
And within the first 30 seconds of this, you correct me. What's going on there?
I like
IQ.
Bart.
Is it-
No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Well, I
I'm
have
just
to
kidding.
compared to Donald Trump, you know?
Yeah, that is true.
Lorcan
did say my man's like Donald Trump, so that's pretty awesome. How tough is your course? Like if if I was in your class, am I passing? Yes.
What's the IQ?
Depends on your
that's
IQ,
right.
man.
No, it's not about your IQ. So first of all, Linda Strickland does not set the material. It is set by the North Carolina Real Estate Commission, who then sets it for the education provider, which would be CPCC. That's where I taught. So I don't get to make the material. If I did, nobody would pass it because I think it's too easy for people. I think that if it were a little bit harder, I might not have gotten into the situation I got into when I bought my house.
So you're saying the class now, the material that they provide is too easy for people just to kind of become a realtor?
I think it is, but I also understand that I have higher standards than most of the human population. So I'm okay
She is
with
not
that.
human.
I'm okay with that. I understand that I'm a little bit stricter, but again, it wouldn't have happened if it wasn't quite so easy or what I consider to be easy.
Strickland is stricter.
Nice, Alan.
Yeah.
Nice.
Pretty good drop in there, wasn't it?
That's pretty good.
If you don't have a tough class, then you're gonna have a lot of students don't pass that test.
I did have a lot of students that
So
Really?
didn't pass
What was the
couldn't even take
percentage?
the test.
What was the percentage?
I just got my pass rate the other day. I don't remember, but it's really low. But they don't do it off of the class. So there weren't a lot of people in my class. Obviously, I'm not a popular instructor. It was my first time teaching. So I think I had, by the time the class was said and done and people dropped out and all the things, I mean, there might have been like 12 or 14 people left. I think 4 of them got to take the test. And no, I'm sorry, 6 got to take the test, 2 got to retest, and they still failed it. 4 of them passed. Since then, 1 of them works for me, and another one will be working for me very soon. The other 2, I don't know what happened to them. I didn't.
it's like
Wow.
a recruiting pipeline.
Yeah,
Right.
it is.
Pass my
Right.
test, you can work for me.
What? So my current broker, Cheyenne Price, I think Bart may have met her.
Yep.
She was my client, and then she was my student, and now she works for me. And what better person to train you than the person you're going to be working for? And that's
Yeah.
kind of the way we looked at it. So, and she did pass everything, to my knowledge. I believe I remember she passed everything on the first time.
Oh, wow. That's awesome.
Yeah, Cheyenne's sharp.
She is. She
So
is.
Linda's class, they coming in and they're like all gun ho, and then like 2 weeks in, they're dropping like left,
She
like
crushes.
flies.
So that is
This is-
not
this
just
is
my
dropping.
class. That is very common.
No, it's your class.
No, it's
Get
not.
the Hulk smash.
It's
Yeah,
it's
she's-
not. It's actually very common. Real estate is incredibly hard. You're basically studying to be an attorney.
Wow.
Yeah,
You would compare it to that.
absolutely.
Seriously.
Well, considering when I finish my BSBA, I'm going to go to law school. Yeah, I would compare.
Okay, what is happening
She's going
right
to
now?
sell the house, market the house, and do the closing.
Yeah.
It's a
She's
one-stop shop.
Actually,
That's got to be a conflict of interest.
I was going to say
gotta
I
leave any money on the
I
table.
don't think I can do the closing, but I can do other closings.
That's true.
So what you don't know, and I don't even know if Bart knows, I actually manage a law firm from home now.
What?
Yes.
How do you do that?
He's in Charlotte. He's one of my preferred attorneys. And he does all my closings anyway, so who better to handle the file than me? I might be a micromanager a little bit.
She's sitting there just like this and that and this and that. Like,
I like to stay busy. I'm extremely ADHD. I may or may not be medicated. It depends on the day. So I have to stay busy or I get bored. So yes, I do all the things.
are you medicated today?
No,
I can tell.
really.
I'm just kidding.
I was going to say I'm actually being really calm right now.
I'm just kidding. I'm
Oh
kidding.
gosh.
There's an old
Wind
adage
her
that
up.
says if you want to get something done, give it to the busiest person you know. That right there.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, as far as your clients, do you or can you work? How many clients do you work with at a time? Like, is it like just depends on where you're at in the market and how the market's going, or do you prefer like I'm only going to take 5 and then I'm cutting it off?
Well, I think the rule actually is that you basically can't take on more than you can handle. But for different people, that looks very different.
Yeah.
I would say because of my schedule, you're lucky if I want to work with 1 or 2 at a time. But that's what I have other brokers for. I can, give it to them. But when I wasn't doing all of the other things, or I was a little bit slowed down, like I said, I sold 33 houses the first year, 36 sites. So,
You consider that slow?
I do. I mean, when you see, again, I have high expectations, but if you guys could look at sales volume, which you can't, you don't have MLS access, but I can. So I can look at Gaston, Cleveland, surrounding counties, the brokers and how much they sell. And there is a broker in Cleveland County. I won't give his name, but I kind of consider him an idol. He probably has no idea. I don't think we've spoke on the phone more than 2 times. He probably doesn't even know who I am. But
He will after this.
But I think a few years ago when we spoke on the phone, I mean, we were like in July and he was like, oh, I've already sold like 125 houses. I was like, holy cow.
You're talking about Tracy.
Yes.
I was fixing to say, I know who you're talking about.
I was going to
because
say, if I say his name, will you say that's him?
Yes.
you
Tracy
can't help
Wisnett.
but
Tracy
know
Wisnet.
because his
Wisnet.
face is on half the billboards on Highway 74.
But I say
Well,
that
he's good,
to
though.
say,
He works.
Yes,
Tracy works.
I say
He does.
that to say that was one of the first brokers that I ever seen that did, that many houses. And so I always say I'm going to be like Tracy when I grow up. But
Well,
but the reality of it is I'm too lazy and I just can't. I can't fathom selling 200 houses a year.
Tracy's a worker.
He is.
I mean,
he works.
I mean, I'll take a team of people.
Yeah.
And y'all can sell,
Yeah.
but one person. Of course, he has an assistant and all the
Yeah.
thing. I don't have any of that. I am a micromanager. I have to do it all myself.
So like everything, like you want to make sure. Again, well, that's your personality.
Yes.
You're a perfectionist, so you won't trust anyone else to kind of do it for you.
Right.
Right. You have to have that hands-on thing. Mm-hmm. So with that though, so how do you market? What's your market strategy? Like since you are.
Did you see my car?
Oh, I saw the car.
Yeah, we saw the car.
I saw the car.
Okay, so other things that I do to market. So if you go to Belmont to what is it, South Point Road, the newest Harris Teeter. Mm-hmm. I'm on all the grocery carts in there.
Okay.
If you go down to Franklin Square, over by Ross Dress for Less, there's a nice bench there with my face on it. We do some social media and things. I am very camera shy. I know that you probably don't believe me when I say that, but especially with the cancel culture and all that stuff, I don't like the drama.
Yeah.
So it is hard for me to utilize things like TikTok, Instagram, all the things. I mean, I don't mind posting a photo or something, but I don't really like to go live.
Yeah.
I did a couple of weeks ago when we first were branching off. I had to get rid of my co-branded gear, so I did do some drawings and things like that. But I'm learning. Cheyenne is really good at that. Cheyenne is like a marketing guru, so we are working on Linda's marketing skills through social media.
Well, do you work with both buyers and sellers?
I do. Okay. I personally prefer sellers. But I will, if somebody wants to sell and buy, of course, I'll do that. And I'll work with buyers. I just think that with my busy schedule, sellers are a little bit more.
Okay, that was going to be my next question.
How do you determine who you want to work with? I mean, are there clients you don't want to work with?
Absolutely. I have fired several. Yes.
Okay.
So one of the things about me, I don't currently serve on the Gaston Association of Realtors, but in 2022, I was the chair of the diversity committee. Obviously, you heard me say I have a wife, so I am very big on diversity, and I have had clients that make comments. Mm-hmm. And I will fire somebody as quick as I will hire them. So, and I explain that to people. I'm very, very transparent. And I explain to people that I don't work the way you normal, typical realtors work. I have some provisions in all of the contracts. I can fire you. You can fire me. But it's more likely that I'm going to get rid of you before you're going to get rid of me.
So that's going to be my next question. Like, do you have that already written up in the contract with the logistics? Like, hey, this is what I expect from you. This is what you should expect from me. If at any point in time we're not agreeing here, see ya.
Yes. So it's not in the actual form. So we have standard forms for everything. So what you're referring to is the buyer agency agreement or the listing agreement.
Right.
It's not in there, but I do have like a paper that has our logo on it.
Like
and it
an
just
addendum
says
or something?
No, it's not an addendum. It's just a simple like, this is what you can expect from me. Mm-hmm. This is what I expect from you.
Yeah.
But in terms of the actual paperwork, it's mostly verbal that I explain I can fire them, they can fire me, so on and so forth. But there is a provision in there, and I can't get into specifics for antitrust violations and things like that reasons.
Right.
But I do have provisions in all of my documentation. Not only will I fire you, but it doesn't come cheap.
So what happens when you get into, you have a client and say, you're kind of further on in the process, like you're in the due diligence period and something happens between you and the client or vice versa, whatever. And it's like, okay, this is not going to work out. How do you then attack that? Because now you're in the process of somebody's buying this house or, selling the house or whatever, but now it's time to part ways. So how does that work?
So we haven't encountered that yet since we just kind of went out on our own a couple of weeks ago. But I will tell you how it would work if we were empowered by another firm, which we were for several years. In that case, the owner and or broker in charge of that firm would reassign it to another agent, depending on what the client wants. They may want to terminate altogether, but if not, you can reassign it to another agent. first of all the contracts belong to the firm. They don't belong to Linda Strickland, the realtor. They would, in my case, belong to Linda Strickland Real Estate.
Gotcha.
So let's just say we're going to use Cheyenne for an example because she's the broker that works for me. Let's just say that somebody called me and they said, hey, Cheyenne is my broker and I'm not happy. I don't want to terminate the agreement. I'll stay with Linda Strickland Real Estate, but I don't specifically want to work with Cheyenne. Well, then in that case, we would just reassign them to another agent. But with that, I would also ask for their side of the story. I would ask for Cheyenne's or any other broker's side of the story and make a decision based on, having the full picture, because the reality of it is I have personally found 9 times out of 10, the client is the problem.
Yes.
Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah. Customer.
Unrealistic expectations.
Yeah. Customer's not always right. I hate, going back to our first part of the podcast, I hate that saying, customer's always right.
Yeah.
And I said, get out of here with that. Secondly, I think it's important that you said, it's very important that what you said, you're going to get both sides, because the other thing that I found out to be so true is there's 3 sides to every story. There's one side, the other side, and then the truth. And sometimes you got to have some discernment in there to find out what the truth really is, because people are going to say anything that's going to benefit them, and then obviously, I mean, that goes both ways. So that's really important.
And perception. So that was one of the things that I learned in college was perception is everything.
Perception is reality.
Yeah, absolutely. And what is one person's reality is not someone else's. So it's not necessarily that there's your side, my side, and the truth. It's more about there's your perspective, their perspective, and then somewhere in the middle, there's what the intent was behind it.
Yeah.
And it just doesn't always line up. So
how do you handle multiple offers and like negotiations that way?
So we're not in the same market that we were a few years ago. There are still properties that get into multiple offer situations. Are you asking me how we handle it in terms of if I have 2 buyers that want the same property, or are you saying if I'm the listing agent and there are multiple offers? Which way are you asking that?
I would say both.
Yeah,
really.
I'll say,
how do you handle both
I like that
situations?
first one. That's interesting.
That is interesting, but both.
Okay.
And I want the truth.
Okay. So if I am the listing agent and we get multiple offers, first of all, it is against license law to disclose terms of offers without the offeror's written permission. And it's very likely that if you make an offer and I say, hey, can I tell everybody what your offer is? You're going to be like, no.
Right.
So, so we can't do that.
Yeah.
So basically, if we get multiple offers, we could just send out kind of a blast email to all of the agents who have submitted an offer and say, we are in multiple offers. Please bring us your final and best offer by X date, X time. But keep in mind, we have to follow the seller's lawful direction. So the seller may say, I'm going to look at offers through, I don't know, what's today, Thursday. So through 5 o'clock tomorrow, Friday. But let's say in 2 hours, we get an offer they can't refuse. Well, they absolutely can renege on their deadline. And
Wow.
Do you ever have a realtor that sends out like that content and there's really only one offer and they're just doing that, trying to generate a buzz?
That's got to be like against the rules.
I knew you guys were going to think that because you're consumers. So that is actually against license law.
I'm about to say it has to be against
Okay,
the law.
now I want to know how many realtors you think actually maybe do that.
I personally don't know. I would like to think that as an industry, we're all ethical, but let's be real. We're like any other industry. So I personally would never do that. I do hold a high level of morals.
So
what if you found out someone was doing that? Do you just file a complaint with the board of realtors?
Well, with the real estate commission.
Okay.
So let's back up. So realtor and real estate agent are sort of 2 different things. This is almost like an endorsement. Like you're choosing to become a realtor. You don't have to be a realtor. I mean, you probably would have to be if you want MLS access. But what I'm saying is that you can be a real estate agent without being a realtor. So for us, the body that governs us is the North Carolina Real Estate Commission.
Okay.
So if you want to file a complaint, you would go to the Real Estate Commission's website and you can file it there, or you can call the Real Estate Commission.
Yeah. Who makes up the commission? I know we've got a pest control commission, but who makes up the real estate commission?
Oh gosh, who else on there right now?
Are they elected or are they appointed? Oh.
Why didn't you send me this question? So I don't want to tell lies. I can't remember. I want to say there's 9 people, and I want to say so many of them are agents, but maybe not. I think some of them's attorneys. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of the way it works. They give a certain amount of agents in the pest control, the people that actually licensees, and then you've got some elected officials or appointed officials that kind of, I guess, hold them accountable as well.
Yeah, and I don't know the ins and outs. I can't remember. I just know who some of them are because I see them at our meetings and the instructor meetings and stuff. But I think there's 9 people who are appointed to the board.
Bart, at one point in time, were you like close to being on the pest control commission thing? I thought you were at one point.
Yeah.
I mean, there's been some people saying they were going to nominate me,
Okay.
but I really don't want to have to drive to Raleigh a couple times a month.
Right.
Yeah, that's true.
That would take away from a lot of what, I give to the company. But
Yeah.
Yeah, there's been a couple of people who say they wanted to nominate me to get somebody who wasn't corrupt in there.
Because you're not corrupt, buddy.
I'm not corrupt. I'm just like Linda. I'm
He's not.
straight.
Bart
Bart
not.
just threw a little shade on some people, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, we can throw shade.
Uh-oh.
Okay, we won't
No,
get
I
into
agree
it.
with
We won't
you.
get into
Bart,
it.
same. You couldn't-
Cold.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bart Cold, yeah. Same for me. The real estate commission is in Raleigh, so even if
Yeah.
somebody wanted me to do it, I can't.
Yeah, it's just not feasible to make a living.
No,
Yeah,
absolutely not.
So once you have, you establish the client and y'all are working together, with how technology has came about the last few years, is it more like texting? Do you do that more as far as communicating with the client?
Communication.
Yeah.
Yes and no.
Yeah.
Statute of frauds, everything in writing can be held against you. So
It's very smart.
Actually,
Her
what the
IQ is high.
statute of fraud says is that all real estate contracts have to be in writing. But the way we remember it in baby school is what's in writing happened, right? So
Yeah.
if there's no writing, there's no documentation. That's how we were taught anyway in my class. So yes and no, because I think, again, it goes back to perception.
Yeah.
So it depends. Is it a client that I'm telling them their house is not FHA eligible and they keep saying that I said the opposite of that? Well, I'm probably going to put in writing that your house is not FHA eligible. But it really just depends. I personally, I like human connection and interaction, and also I'm lazy and don't want to read, so you can tell me in 2 seconds what you just sent me a whole paragraph about.
So you don't like to read, but you read a 500-page documentation 55
it was numbers.
times.
I'm good with numbers, so everything from the lender was more number.
I got you.
Well, how did you create your client base? Because obviously you're pretty successful to break away and to start your own thing. That's a big step. That's a big jump.
Yeah, that's true.
It is a big jump. It's amazing what Linda will do if you make her mad enough. No, I'm just kidding.
Can we get into that story, please?
No, absolutely not.
Wow.
No,
Give
I'm
us
just
the
joking.
juice.
No, I can't.
I want to spill some tea.
No, but no, it's not. Okay, so let's go back to the original question. How did I create my client base? So, true story. I don't know the answer. I was not popular in school. People do not like me. In fact, I had a broker in charge tell me one time that I was not a likable person. He did not understand how I did so much real estate, and I'll leave it at that. I won't say the rest of what he said because otherwise somebody would know who it is. But the point is, he told me he didn't know how I was so good at it because people don't like me. So the truth is,
Well, they don't have to like you as long as they respect you.
exactly. So the truth is, I don't have a sphere of influence. I don't have, friends or family or people that trust me. I think that word of mouth and my IQ. I'm just kidding. It's not my IQ. It's my knowledge.
I want to ask something
level.
on
Just
that.
old-fashioned referrals is what you're saying is your greatest asset.
Did that?
Yeah, but honestly, a lot of the feedback I get is when I go and I talk to a client or a customer, rather, they're not a client yet, for the first time, I always get, you told me more in 5 minutes than the last realtor told me in a year.
Yeah.
Well, our job is to educate you and to make sure that you wholeheartedly understand what you are signing before you sign it. So we should be telling you.
Yeah, knowledge is power. And I feel like even with like Nelon-Cole and the stuff that we provide, there's been so many times where, we go out to a customer and we talk to them about what we're doing and why we need to do it. And this is how we're going to do it. And they're like, Yeah, sign me up. Like they don't even care what the price is because they have the knowledge and no one else gave that to them.
We don't sell anything anymore. We share knowledge, and you use that knowledge to make the best decision you want to make.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And people want to make decisions. They don't want to be sold.
No.
They want to choose.
Yeah.
But you have to give them the right knowledge to make an educated decision.
And I would agree with that. And I tell my brokers that I've had several brokers join we were a team, now we're a firm. I've had several brokers over the last few years. I've fired most of them. But the point is,
Wait,
not a likable person.
I have
Wait a second.
high expectations.
So many
I'm
people.
starting to see why my man said what he said.
Stop it.
I'm just kidding.
But no, I do think that providing them knowledge is what we're supposed to do. And the first thing that I tell brokers is you're not here to sell it. So one time I was at an overlapping showing, I think it was. So like multiple realtors, multiple clients. And I heard a broker say, can you imagine yourself sitting here drinking coffee? And I was just like, what?
That sounds like something out of a movie.
Yeah, no,
Right. And I was like, do you see the stain on the ceiling? You might need a darn home inspection.
But here's the way you
I'm
sell a
not
home
here
to
to sell
Justin.
it.
Look, Justin, no light.
Yeah.
And no lemons.
Exactly. No lemons and no light.
You got me. I'm sold.
So I would say that I agree with Bart. I don't sell anything. We're not here to sell it. I'm here to give you the information to help you make an informed decision.
Yeah. Alan, did you have a question for?
Yeah, I wanted to
Yeah.
ask about the marketing. You mentioned word of mouth and everything, but it seems to me as an outsider looking in that realtors who really like the one that you mentioned earlier that you respect so much advertises everywhere. How big a deal is that you get clients from just seeing your face everywhere? Because I see a lot of realty billboards, I see I hear radio ads, everything.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it's still going to go back to how great or not great a broker is, right? Like, obviously, I mean, I've never done a transaction with Tracy Wisnett, never in my life. I mean, we talked a couple times. I've had some clients interested in some properties, but we've never gotten to the point where we make offers or work together. But obviously, he knows what he's doing. I mean, he's selling a lot of real estate.
And he advertises a lot.
And he does, from what I've seen in Cleveland County. But here's the thing is, I mean, you can advertise all day, but if the client realizes that you're incompetent, you're not going to get that word of mouth. So I would have to say, I mean, again, I don't know Tracy Wisnett, but I would have to say that he clearly knows what he's doing if he's getting that kind of business. But, then there's the other perspective of that, which is that, anytime somebody says, do you know a realtor? Everybody on their Facebook or their friends, their family is going to be like, oh, Susie Q is a perfect realtor. She's so smart, this, that, and third. And they don't know. They've never used another broker. So I think sometimes, it's a popularity contest. That's the reality.
Do you do real estate full time? Because I see a ton of people that just do real estate part time. It's like they're retired.
We were
They're
talking
just doing
about
this
that
to
before
sell
we
a
started,
house
yeah.
or two
Yeah.
to make an extra buck here or there. I mean, I don't see them giving the same attention to their clients as you would.
So there's a provision in my policies and procedures manual that says you must give priority to the real estate business. So I get it. Everybody's got a side job. I got side jobs. I run an attorney's firm. I do everything.
Yeah.
But your clients have to be held higher than anything else. So I don't know why people, I mean, I think it depends on how successful you are. I don't work full time. I have brokers all the time that tell me they work 40, 50, 60 hours a week. And these are successful brokers, or what I consider to be successful. And I'm just like, I think you're doing it wrong. I don't work but like 10 hours a week. Like, what are you doing?
Work smarter, not harder, right?
Right, absolutely.
Yeah, right.
Absolutely. So but to each their own. Maybe what works for them is not what works for me. I don't know. I'm lazy.
Yeah.
I'm not working I'm not working 40 or 50 hours a week.
So
That's insane.
we have a question that's like that we were going to ask you. How do you handle stress? But I mean, obviously, 10 hours a week. I mean,
Excuse me. I still have classes. I still run an attorney
10 hours
firm.
a week.
That's not all I do.
The rest of the hour, she's at the massage.
Yeah.
No, I wish.
Living my best life right now.
No, I wish, but no, no. It's just I have to have a balance between school and the other job and all that. Mainly school. I really am a perfectionist. I really do get stressed out if I think I'm going to make less than an A in a class. And remember, I said I didn't like to read, so that kind of goes along with I don't read, I don't study, I don't do anything. Oh. So it has to be that I get it right the first time,
right? Yeah,
because
I don't want to do it again.
Well, I don't prepare for the class, so.
So when it comes to deadlines, when going back to the real estate side of it, when it comes to deadlines,
yesterday was your deadline.
Ooh,
like that's
yesterday.
Yeah. It's always like that, right?
Well, I'm ADHD. If you tell me to do something and I wait 5 hours, I'm not going to know what I'm supposed to be doing. Yeah. I can't. I'm like a do it now, do it now, do it now. But then I also realize that might be why some people don't like me, because I have expectations.
Do you ever get a call in? Like sometimes people just call shopping around and say, hey, I'm thinking about selling my house. I mean, do you ever get any of those kind of calls? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Do you treat those differently than you would like a referral, or is it pretty much the same process? You treat everybody, start with the same steps, or?
Yeah, kind of the same steps. I mean, you have to have your own process. Like, what do you expect out of your clients? Like, for instance, anybody that calls, well, first of all, if you call me, if you start going, my credit score is this and this is the house I want to buy and whatever, the first thing I'm going to say is, please don't tell me anything, right? We have the Working with Real Estate Agents disclosure that tells you that if I'm not going to be your broker, you should shut your mouth and not tell me anything. Because if I don't work for you, I work against you. There's only two sides of the table here. I either work for the seller or I work for the buyer.
It's interesting.
So I say that to say, if Justin, you come to me, you call me and you say, hey, Linda, I want to buy 123 Main Street and it's a $500,000 house and I have a credit score of 620. I have to go, whoa, Justin, don't tell me anything.
620.
Because we are what we call a sub-agent of the seller. By license law, we all work for the seller in North Carolina. I work for the seller of every property in North Carolina. So until you and I sign that exclusive buyer agency agreement, or we at minimum make a verbal non-exclusive agency agreement, I don't work for you, so you should not tell me anything about you.
Meanwhile, all the people with like, what score did you say? 630 or
620?
All you people out there with 620. She didn't mean it. She still loves you.
She
still loves you.
It could be 720, 850. I don't care what your score is. The point is, you told me your score, and you can buy a house with like a 580. Calm down.
Okay.
Oh my gosh! Now your phone's gonna ring off the
But
you're in.
I mean, it's
I am in.
There's stipulations.
585, baby. I'm just kidding.
But the point is, you shouldn't be disclosing your information, and that's one reason I get clients, because I always get the why did nobody else tell me this, and I'm like, oh, because they're not following the rules.
Do you have to tell somebody if like somebody died in that house and you're selling?
No, not North Carolina. You do in South Carolina.
What?
Not
Seriously?
No, absolutely not.
You do not have to disclose that?
No, it's not a material fact, and that's what you're referring to.
Yes, material facts.
But if you come to me and I'm your broker and we're looking at a house and you say, Linda, did somebody die in this house? I either have to decline to answer or I have to tell you the truth.
Which one are you going to do?
Lie.
If you decline to answer, I mean, that's a dead giveaway. Anyway.
Yeah, pretty much.
Well, I'm probably going to decline to answer because I'm not going to go ask the listing broker, did somebody die in the house? Like, I don't ask that when I show houses. But if you want to know, if you ask me and I know the answer, I'm going to tell you that I know the answer. And if I don't, I'm going to tell you I don't.
So in North Carolina, you don't
asked you that?
She's not going to answer.
Only in South Carolina.
Only in South Carolina.
Only in West Virginia.
No, only in South Carolina. Somebody did one time, and I did not know it was a material fact in South Carolina. That's how I found out. When I took the South Carolina test, I didn't take a class. I literally just went into PSI, took the test, and it said passed. And I thought, holy crap, how did I do that? And I went to my broker in charge and I was like, hey, I passed the test, but I don't know anything about South Carolina.
Yeah.
Don't let me sell a house there. I didn't know what I was doing. I mean, I learned over the years, but so I didn't know that there were differences, like things like that are different, but they are.
Yeah, you would only have to ask that question in Blacksburg, South Carolina.
That's right.
Every house.
Has anyone ever been killed in this house?
And the answer would be yes.
No, she wouldn't. She would just be
She said,
silent.
I can't.
I decline to answer
that.
I
decline
either have
to
to
answer.
decline to answer or I have to tell you the truth. But I wouldn't know. I don't watch the news. So I sold a piece of land last year and it had squatters and everything. It was like a whole thing. It was in Shelby. And I mean,
Of course it was.
My people knew it had
Under the
squatters.
bridge. Under the bridge.
No, my people knew it had
Next to
squatters. They
Walmart.
were fine with it. They got it for a good deal. Everything was good. I mean, they call me all the time and tell me where they're at with evicting the squatters. But we call it, what do we call it? Squatters camp or something? Anyway.
Squatters camp?
Something like that. Anyway, she
great.
found out after the transaction had concluded. She calls me one day and she's like, did you know somebody OD'd on this property? And I was like, no, why would I know that? And so I started trying to research with the information she's given me. I never could find it. So if they did, it didn't like get reported to the news. But how in the world would I know that?
Yeah.
Why would I know that?
I mean, you weren't just down there hanging out.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, you bought a squatter's camp. Like, what
What
did
do you think?
Probably more
happened?
than one. Truthfully.
Right. That's what, and
What do
that's.
you-
I think
Yeah.
that's what I said to her. Like, it's probably not the only one. Like,
He probably OD'd and they probably buried him on the land.
right.
So what if there were like demonic rituals in the home?
Obviously, you don't have
that's
to
not-
disclose that in North Carolina.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
not a material fact. Fun material facts, though.
But what if it
If
actually
it's a meth
worked?
house, that is a material fact.
You have to
Yeah.
disclose that.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
because they got to do some type of decontamination
Yes.
process.
Of course, in my mind, I'm thinking, how in the world would I know? I mean, we're not going to go lick
You don't
the
go in.
walls.
Oh yeah, they could.
Well, even if I sniffed, I don't.
I
well,
could
that's what I'm saying.
tell.
I don't know what meth smells like.
So what if the
Right,
home
exactly.
were infested with bees?
Oh my gosh.
Yellow jackets.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Or bed bugs?
So you go to a
I
meth
mean,
house.
if you know, yeah,
That's
you got to
infested with yellow jackets.
You go to a meth house. You have to disclose that Walter White was there.
Wait, what?
Oh, she
no.
did that.
I didn't get it. I don't.
Oh,
That just dropped
You
her
know-
IQ
oh
20
my
points.
God.
Hey, listen.
the
I don't know
greatest
who that is.
television show in all of television, Breaking Bad.
I don't know about that.
I don't watch
Yes.
TV.
Dude, Gilligan's Island existed.
How do you not watch TV? You only work 10 hours. Gilligan's Island.
Yeah, that's
She's
right.
she's
Yeah.
full time school.
School and my
Yeah.
other job, and I
The-
also have an autistic 11-year-old. He's about to be 11,
Oh wow.
and he goes to therapy every day. It's a
Yeah.
whole thing. So
Okay.
yeah,
They watch his
all right.
TV.
it's a lot. I don't watch TV. Actually, I sometimes do. I watch Law and Order SVU. I've probably seen every episode at least 14 times.
Of course you do.
Yeah, because you're managing a law firm. You know, you got to be.
Yeah, I mean, she's got to be on it.
It's a real estate law firm.
So
okay,
Perry
okay.
Mason.
wait. So
Matlock.
Matlock. So
not Matlock.
Do you watch or have you watched Suits? Have you watched that?
No, I tried to get into that, but it wasn't.
Who are you right now?
I don't know.
I don't know, but I have this theory following up on what Bart just said that with Matlock, I have a theory that if you have cable TV, Matlock is on somewhere 24 hours a day.
Absolutely.
What's funny you say that? I've been watching reruns of Quincy here lately.
Quincy.
Justin doesn't know who that is. He wasn't alive back
No,
then.
I wasn't.
Bart. Me and Bart know.
It's actually still a pretty good show.
Quincy MD.
It's
So,
like all
Jack
the episodes
Klugman.
you watch. Yeah, all the episodes you watch, you already forgot them. It's like they're all brand new again. You know.
They're gonna have their own show for a second. We'll just chill out,
No, it's
Linda.
fine.
No, seriously. When you get time out of your 10-hour work week, you should watch Breaking Bad and
give
see
you the
what you
pitch.
think.
I might have seen it. I wouldn't know the name if I.
So
think
Justin,
I'd
give her
Google
the
it.
10-second synopsis.
10-second synopsis. Okay, this is a high school chemistry teacher. Very, very smart. High IQ. Down on his luck, finds out he has lung cancer, wants to provide his family, wants to leave money for his family. So he finds his former student, which you could relate to get him to work for him because he knows the chemistry of how to cook the purest meth there is.
Okay.
So
I'm going to watch it now. That's all I need to hear.
Adventures follow.
I mean, we're talking about 99.8% pure, okay? The purest there
Does
is.
that not mean you'll like drop dead? I mean, I don't know.
No, apparently not,
Evidently you
because
really
everybody
love
that
it.
takes it loves it.
I don't.
So it starts to continue from there. So the obviously the student knows the business, the drug business, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he knows the chemistry, so they kind of team up, and it just goes off the rails from there. But it's a fantastic show.
That's a pretty good summary. Yeah.
I don't. Yeah, I don't think I've seen. I mean, I can Google it or go watch
It's on
it.
Netflix.
Well, Linda, how big do you want your firm to be? I mean, do you guys have an office, or do you guys work from home now, or how does that work? Because I see a lot of big independents that don't even have offices anymore. Everybody works from home. Everybody works via internet. I mean, they don't go out in the field unless they have a showing.
So I would agree with that. So even when we were empowered by another company, you weren't required to go into the office. So we had an office key, but you don't have to go in. The current firm address is my home address, so I'm not going to give it to you, although you technically could look up the firm and find it. But no, I don't. I mean, I have an office in my house. We are planning a grand opening / customer appreciation / everybody come.
At your house?
Party. No, it's at it's at the clubhouse.
The
of my
Wow.
community.
Wow.
It's going to be on February 24th.
That's why she became a realtor.
We've got that part narrowed down, and we're going to have Ben Engel from OnQ Financial. I don't know if you know who that
Ben.
is, but he's down in Kings Mountain. He's going to be coming.
I do know Ben.
I love Alan just out of nowhere. I know Ben.
Yeah.
I love Ben.
So
So we're gonna do that. But no, it's in terms of like, yeah, we have a physical address, but is anybody coming to my house? No.
That's going to be quite a party. You should get Christopher Cross to come play.
Who was that?
You know, sailing takes me away. No?
No.
I don't have you either, Alan.
doesn't
I'm
he
sorry.
sing like "Ride Like the Wind" too?
Yeah.
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 What?
No.
He probably books cheap.
How old are you?
You could get him.
Hey, you can
I'm
probably
36.
get cool
I am
in the
too.
gang at this point.
So
Yeah, we're
so
out.
we have no.
We'll have our own conversation. Let them have their own show.
a live band.
How big do you want to get? I mean, that's what. I mean, how many?
Oh, that's where we were. Okay. Not big.
Do you have any goals? I mean, okay, once I get to this, we're going to mellow out, or
Well, I mean, if we start getting more than 5 or 10, we'll have to get an office. I mean, Ben's already said we could use his office, but I mean, in terms of having a physical office address, we'll probably have to eventually do that. I don't know. You know, I mean, my wife and I have had conversations about, do I really want to go larger than, 5 or 6 brokers, or, do I want to go have 200? I don't know the answer. Because you have to understand that as the firm owner, I'm also the broker in charge, which means I'm
Right.
responsible for everybody else's stuff. So
Right.
when I say 10 hours a week, Justin,
Oh, here we go.
that's 10 hours with buyers and sellers. We're not talking about the time that I have to put into, managing files, actually running the business, doing my payroll with
Yeah,
QuickBooks
Justin.
and all the things. Like,
yeah, but you have people for that.
no. Linda's a
hire somebody.
micromanager.
Yeah, I know.
am my own.
You're a perfectionist.
I'm my own everything. I file my own taxes. I run my own QuickBooks, do my own payroll.
Of course you file your
No,
own
no,
taxes.
no.
I don't
You
mean my
farm it out.
personal ones. No,
You go
I
TurboTax,
can't.
don't you?
Do what?
You go TurboTax, don't you?
Sure do, the business one. And then I get my Schedule K, and I
Shout
do
out to TurboTax.
Yeah,
the personal one, absolutely. But I also used to own a virtual tax franchise. So
What is happening here?
What?
Were you ever
Who
with the
is
circus
this?
too?
She
I
is
wasn't.
better than Santa.
Remember, I told you that I'm
she's
good
a
with
renaissance.
numbers and I'm good with math. So even though I hate math and I don't love numbers, I am really good with math and numbers. So,
25 times 25 right now. Give it to me.
oh my God!
625.
Seriously, hold on. 2 times 2 is 4. Who's that? Is that what it was?
Yeah, 625.
Bart is
How
on
I
it.
do math.
Oh my God.
My kids say that I do math weird because I have to be like, wait, okay, 2 times 2 is 4, and then 5 times 5 is 5. Now I got to add those together.
Yeah.
Y'all don't do it that way?
I got to have a phone with a calculator.
No, I don't need that. But
I'm not writing that stuff down. That stuff will cramp your hand
Bart was
up.
so quick with that answer.
He was.
Somebody check it. Just make sure he's right.
yeah. So my next thing
I'm
would
on
have
it.
been like, 25, 50. But then I was like, that's 25 of them. I can't.
Jesus, unreal. 635.
He is right.
He's
So
right.
what is-
He's
so
right.
you're a mathematician over there.
He didn't even get it out. What is 25 by 625?
Unbelievable.
That's what you get when you eat ham.
I was still counting.
Exactly. Ham.
I'm having ham tonight, actually.
Are you really?
Don't tell Bart that. You have no idea what can you've just opened.
Now he's looking up your address on the
can
line.
of
It's coming to you.
Right.
Just open up a whole can of ham.
If there's
Okay.
ham, he'll eat some ham.
He's coming to your house
If
tonight.
someone's rushed to sell their home, are you going to price that home differently? Say, like a short sale or a quick sale, or is the price the price? Like, I mean, if somebody comes to you and says, Linda, I'm behind on my mortgage. I really need to sell this house. I can get out from underneath this. I need to sell it quick.
That's a material fact.
So that's something they can't tell you.
No, they can.
Okay.
And they should. But if they are in active foreclosure, that is a fact that's going to relate straight to the transaction.
Oh, wow.
That's going to impact their ability to buy or
being
sell.
off a month or two isn't in foreclosure yet.
Right. So if they're only a month or two, so I've had somebody to call me and be like, I'm 3 months behind. And I was like, so they're foreclosing in like 10 days. What are we doing? But I did list it. And I actually ended up bringing the buyer. I couldn't disclose that he was in like, I guess it's like pre-foreclosure or whatever. First of all, if we call the lender and we say we're going to put it on the market, they'll kind of like freeze where they're at. They're not going to like proceed with foreclosure.
Gotcha.
But
That's a good nugget of knowledge because I mean, a lot of people who watch this be like, okay, well, I can kind of freeze that for a minute. Let me get this on the market as quickly as possible.
Yeah, as long as you keep them updated and you're like, hey, I'm putting it on the market. Okay, now it's active and I'm under contract. I'm scheduled to close on X date. Like, as long as you're keeping them updated, they generally won't press the foreclosure. But no, so in our case, she did slightly lowball the seller. And when you work what's called dual agency, you have the buyer and the seller. You cannot play them against each other. So essentially you become a mediator. All I can say is Mr. Seller, Mr. Buyer said this, Mr. Buyer, Mr. Seller said this. That's it. You can't play them against each other. The buyer got a really good deal though. And unfortunately, once the transaction was done, the seller wasn't very happy with me. And I was like, well, I told you could say no to the repairs and you could do all that. And he's like, yeah, but I had to sell the house. Well, then what are you mad at me for? Like,
Because nobody likes you.
I'm right. Because nobody likes me. I mean, you loved me 3 years ago when I helped you buy the house.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, you've been doing, that's one thing I was going to ask you. You've been doing this 4 years now. Are you already getting repeat clients?
Oh, yeah. I've got some that I've done like 5 transactions.
What? In 4 years?
Well, yeah, but they're not all homes, right? Like people buy land, they build other stuff, whatever.
Yeah.
Sell one house.
What's I've always heard that the average homeowner owns the home for about 7 years. Is that true? Or?
Well, I mean, if it's me, I own it for 2. I move every 2 years. Literally. Okay. Like my wife was like, we are not moving anymore. I was like, yeah, wait 2 years. Yeah, we are.
Was there a purpose for that?
Yeah, I'm about to say, why is that?
Well, to avoid capital gains taxes, you have to be there for 2 years in your primary residence. But no, it just kind of worked out that way. Like we bought that house in 2017. I guess we were there technically. Well, no, it was 2 years because we didn't move in until like February 1st, 2018. It was the very end of 2017. So we sold that one in January 2020. So it was like 2 years. And then we moved into the one in Rosegate, which was beautiful. We loved the house. I mean, it was immaculate. But when my mother passed away, we had to take her dog in, and her dog is old, and all the bedrooms were upstairs. So he started kind of falling down the stairs. So I was like, well, time to go.
Not good.
So then we moved into this last one. We've been there like 7 months. Yeah. So it was 2021 when we sold.
So the countdown is on.
So, yeah. Well, since we've been there, I'm like, what did we do? I thought I loved the neighborhood and all that. The HOA is like the worst.
Man, wow.
And I'm like,
Amazing.
She's already out. Like she's out.
No, seriously, guys, like 3 months after we moved in, I was like, what the did we do? Like, can we go already? Because I can't deal. I was ready to put the house back on the market.
Yeah.
I would not want to sell my house. No way. I've been at 10 years, and I don't even want to think about selling it.
Matter of fact, I just sold my house and we close on it tomorrow.
And
Did you
did
really?
not use me.
Okay, hold on.
Congratulations,
I was
Congratulations.
Justin.
Jen, her name is Jen Winchester.
I have no idea who that is.
Me neither.
Hewitt Realty.
I do know who Hewitt Realty is.
Yeah, she works for them.
I've done a deal with one of the brothers or something. I don't know.
Yeah. I was like kind of torn if I should say that or not because obviously I didn't.
Well, I don't know who she is. There's 100,000 brokers in North Carolina.
Well, I'm talking about it because I didn't use you.
Oh, well,
Yeah,
now you know. Next
now
time
I
you'll
know.
call
If
me.
she had only advertised a little bit more.
Right.
Should have had.
If I had made a couple
If
of
you
TikToks.
shopped in Belmont, you would have used her.
I would have
That's
used
right.
her.
Yeah.
You
That's
should
right.
get your bench down in.
Oh, I'm moving
Shelby.
the bench.
That's right.
My
You
Cheyenne.
gotta be careful how you say that.
Got to have the benches
Yeah.
here.
Move your bench.
Cheyenne actually saw. I had never seen it because I don't ever go look at it. And Cheyenne sent me a picture, and she was like, there's homeless people sleeping on your bench. Can we please
Wow.
move the bench?
Wait a second.
Say, wait,
Wait.
I just sold some land that they lived on. That's why they're there.
Right. Right. No, I would never let my people be homeless. That is one of my biggest pet
But
peeves.
Justin, you're moving now.
I mean, question though, like, wouldn't that be who you want to be on your bench? Like the homeless, like
The homeless
That way
drunk
everybody
with no
lives
yeah,
job.
because he's like he wakes up from his bender and he's like
He's gonna want a
Let me
home."
call Linda because she can get me a home and I don't have to sleep on her bench anymore.
But maybe his
I got a credit score
isn't
of
good.
580.
Yeah, I'm there.
I'm there. I saw that podcast.
581, baby.
He
I
has
can
no
buy a
income,
house.
but he has good credit.
That right. No
I
income,
make
but
no
great
money,
credit.
but I have a 720 credit score.
That's right.
How do you introduce your listings to other realtors that may bring a buyer? I mean, how do you do that?
Well, we have this phenomenal thing called the multiple listing service or the MLS.
Well, I mean, to you and other realtors, you guys know that, but to people who are
Oh, y'all don't know that. Just like I don't know moisture control. I got it. Okay. So we have a platform, the MLS. Of course, we advertise, or I do. Not every agent does, but I advertise it on social media. That I do advertise. And then we have all the sites that syndicate from the MLS. So if you go to Zillow.com or Realtor.com or any Trulia, I don't know, you can just Google Find My Dream House or something.
I think Realtor.com is the best out of those, by the way.
I think Zillow owns that.
Really?
I believe so. I believe I saw that recently that Zillow owns Realtor.com.
I always seem to get more information off of Realtor.com than any of the others.
Well, they're all my competitors, so I won't, speak to that.
I got you.
Because what do you need me for if you can just get it all off the internet? I mean, you do need me. You need me for the home
The
inspection.
paperwork,
You need
I
me
mean,
to
yeah,
say we got to call Bart because you need a French drain and a sump pump. But the information is so readily available nowadays. But without the MLS, if I don't put it on the MLS, then none of those other sites can.
Yeah, it's not
control
even
it.
on
It's-
Realtor.com, is it? I mean, or does it even get marketed if you don't put it on the MLS, does it? Unless people just
I
ride by and
mean,
see a
unless
sign.
they let you do like for sale by owner. Like I know Zillow will let for sale by owners get on there and market it themselves. I don't know about Realtor.com.
Gotcha.
With how the information is so readily available, like you said, does that make your job harder?
Nah, I think it makes it easier.
Easier? Okay.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
I mean, I can set you up on a search directly from the MLS, but you can just as easily go to Google and
Type
just
in.
tell me what houses you like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What houses do you like, Bart?
Somebody liked your house,
Home
Justin.
Alone,
There you
man.
go.
The
They
Home
did.
Alone house.
Exactly.
So wait, Justin,
Somebody bought my house that lives in Virginia.
What?
Yeah, moving down here to
So
Bowling
sight
Springs.
unseen.
Why?
Sight unseen. They did do a home inspection. They did all that stuff. So they were good with that. But yeah, they live in Virginia, so they just kind of did the virtual tour. Pretty much is what
Why
they did.
are they moving
So wait,
here?
so you sold?
I don't know.
Are you buying another one?
No, not right now. Not right now.
Always be closing.
I know. Look
So
at her.
you're going to
Look
be
at her.
homeless for a while.
Yeah.
I'm not homeless. I gotta.
So
So you're
I
going to
just
sleep on
wanna-
her bench.
So
Yes.
I want to
Yes.
actually, I kind of don't want to ask because you've
Here we
already
go.
said the realtor's name, but I'm going to ask anyway. And this can be in a general perspective. I'm not asking about that particular realtor. To be honest, I don't even remember her name, and it's only been 2 seconds. But the point is, when
Throwing
you
shade right now.
no, I'm just saying there's so many brokers. I don't know
I'm
who
just
it's who.
kidding. I'm kidding.
But when you called a broker to sell your home, obviously you knew you weren't going to purchase another one, right?
Mm-hmm.
Did your broker ask you? Because that's something that I've seen a lot of, and it bothers me that people, like I sold a home recently and the person was so excited that the buyer, came to buy their home, but then they're like, but wait, I don't have a plan to move. And
Yeah.
I was just like, what?
Yeah.
You mean your broker didn't sit down
Yeah.
and say, okay, I'll gladly sell your house, but what is your plan? What are you doing?
Yeah. No. Jen did. She did ask. Yeah, Jen. She did ask all those questions, all the right questions. What is your plan? Because she told us that when we put the house on the market, that there's a good chance that it was going to sell probably pretty quickly. Because the main reason because it came with, excuse me, I hit my mic, but it came with over 5 acres of land. So that's why it sold pretty quickly. So she was like, make sure you have a plan because just in case. And we put it we put it on there right before the holidays and Christmas, so it kind of slowed down when it got closer to Christmas. But then that first week after Christmas, we got like a hit on it, and then somebody put an offer in.
Yeah.
And so then we were, so yeah, she did ask all those questions, which is important too, because
Absolutely.
yeah, like you're saying, because some people go in there and they're like, okay, I'm gonna put my house on the market, and it's like, boom, it's on there, and it's sold within 2 days, and they have no idea what they're gonna do.
Nowhere to go,
Yeah.
no idea what they're going to do. I mean, it's amazing to me. And that is one of the things that I talk to my brokers about is like, yes, we're out here to sell the property, but please ask them what their plan is. Do they plan to buy another house? You know, a lot of people say, well, I'm going to sell my house and I'm going to buy another one. And you're like, well, I mean, do you even have a good credit score? Do you like, how much do you owe on your mortgage, whatever? And they're just like, I know I can do it. And I'm like, we don't take the I knows, because those are the ones that it's like, no, ever since they bought the house, I don't know what they did to their credit, but they can't even qualify to buy another home. Or my favorites are the ones that are like, I live in a house and I don't think I need to sell it to buy another one, so just go show me houses. And like 9 times out of 10, they got to sell to buy.
Yeah.
That's another big thing. And I'm like, I'm not a door opener. Until you get pre-approved, until I know what my trusted lender has to say about your financial situation, I'm not putting your house on the market. I'm not going to open doors for you to look at other houses. I need to know that you're qualified. Plus, I'm not leaving my bed. I probably haven't even changed my clothes today.
Right.
I'm probably
Right.
in class or in bed doing
not getting up
classwork.
for you.
Yeah.
I'm not getting out of my bed. I
So-
need you to, get pre-approved.
It's interesting to me to when you talk about clients or customers before they become your client, how often like they think just because they have bought a house that could have been like 5-10 years ago. I mean, shoot, some people even 2 years ago, that they just automatically think their credit is whatever it is. And it's like, oh, I bought a house 2 years ago, I can still buy a house now. So hello, you know what I mean? It's crazy how sometimes that mindset is and that process is. And
Or they bought one 30 years ago, so they know the whole process. I'm like,
The
really?
whole process.
Really?
it's changed.
We didn't even have buyer agency 30 years ago. So
Yeah.
you definitely don't know the process because we didn't work for you 30 years ago. So
Which is awesome for you to kind of get out there in the podcast and just in general when people call into your office and talk to you, like, hey, let me tell you all the steps you have to do before I even accept you.
absolutely.
So, I mean, that's important. I respect that. Like, I want people to tell me, what do I need to do to make it happen as easy and as fast as possible?
Absolutely.
So, I respect that.
Because what we don't want to do is get halfway to closing and then you find out you've put non-refundable due diligence fee down,
Yeah.
and then you find out you don't qualify for a mortgage or whatever. That's a stickler for me too. I don't think I've ever had a client lose a due diligence fee because I'm not even taking a look at houses.
What
unless
is
you're-
due diligence? I mean, for the people that's never bought or sold a house, I mean, what is due diligence? We hear that term a lot. I mean, what does that mean?
So there are 2 fees that neither one is required. First, you need to know that. Neither one is required to create a legal binding contract. But a due diligence fee is absolutely non-refundable to the buyer. It gives them the right to back out of the home for any reason or no reason.
Now, is that the same as you hear people say earnest money?
No,
No,
they're two
earnest
different
money
things.
is
Okay,
the
different.
other,
Okay.
Yeah.
the other fee.
There we go.
So due diligence is due and payable at the time the contract is signed. Now, obviously, there's slight wiggle room because if I call you and say, hey, Bart, you're under contract, you're going to have to bring me that check or whatever. So generally, we give you a couple hours or something, or a day or so.
You got a couple hours. Get that check over here.
We're going to need that money.
You're
Bart.
under
Well, I
contract.
mean, legally, it is due when the contract is signed.
How much is usually the due diligence fee?
Nope, there's no set.
No set?
Nope, it's not even required
So-
to make a legal binding contract.
Okay.
Nope.
$1 million.
I mean, we have seen. I mean, I've gotten people into houses for $0, and I've gotten people in the house with $25,000 of non-refundable money, and I'm like, you're out of your mind.
What? 25,000.
That's
And that's
Justin money.
And that's in Gaston, Cleveland.
Easy.
We're not talking. You haven't hit Mecklenburg County where they're putting down.
Wait a second.
Well, they're putting down $50,000 or $100,000.
I know there's not that kind of money in Cleveland County.
No. That's
crazy.
why I said you haven't hit Mecklenburg County where
Yeah.
they're putting down.
Yeah.
No. Wait. I'm lying.
don't
I'm
you
lying.
say it. Don't
I
you
had
say it.
one in Rutherford.
No
County,
way.
I don't
and
believe it.
this was.
Is it one of those lies?
No, this was like 2 years ago, and the house was in multiple offers. I
Bart
can't
Cole.
give you
No, it wasn't me.
specifics, but let's just say that the home, they put down a 6-figure due diligence
Was
fee.
Bart cash?
Wait. We were talking about 25,000, right?
25,000,
K.
that's right.
This was 6 figures.
Yeah, she just said 6 figures.
Oh, it was definitely Bart cash.
No way. They put
Wasn't
down. Hold on. What was the house? How much? Can you disclose the what the house sold for?
I honestly don't remember, but I want to say that the house was relatively cheap. They almost put the whole house down in the due diligence fee.
Do you remember the house?
I don't even know the address at this point.
Did it have an enormous swimming pool behind it?
No,
Oh, okay.
no, they just wanted to renovate it.
I was about to say, I know the house.
Yeah, they wanted to renovate it. I remember that much. And I can't remember specifics, but I know like we offered over. I can't tell you how much over, but it was we did offer over, but we also like basically gave it all to them in the due diligence fee.
Well, how do you handle
How
those
does that happen?
bidding wars? I mean, how do you navigate through those bidding wars like that? I mean,
I look at my clients and I go, "How bad do you want it?
straightforward. How bad do you want?
What are
your
you gonna
checkbook
do to
out.
get it?" I mean, and I
Is
know
your
that-
credit score 580?
Well, it don't matter if you got cash.
That is true.
I mean, it really
That is true.
it really does come down to how bad do you want it. But you have to have a broker that is competent. Is your broker running a CMA? Because shit got crazy a few years ago.
Yeah.
And some of this
CMA.
stuff that was out there,
Is that
comparative
market
market
analysis? That's what I
yeah,
thought.
that
I was gonna
kind of
ask you
tells
what that
us
was.
what the probable
What a guy.
sales price is of the property. And agents don't always know how to do a proper CMA. So, you know, maybe I show you a house and it's beautiful and it's wonderful, but I do a CMA and my CMA is coming 50 grand below what it's listed at. I'm going to be like, I strongly advise you not to make an offer because this is not going to appraise.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, it's just the reality. And if you are hell bent on making an offer, I'm going to send you an email that says, I strongly advise you not to make an offer. My CMA came in at, you know, this price. And, you know, you need to acknowledge that I've told you this is not a good idea.
So say they go ahead and make that offer and the appraisal is consistent with your CMA, what happens then? They just can't buy the house because
They can't get the loan for that amount.
Well, they can't get the loan for that amount.
They would have to make up the difference, right? If they still
Correct.
wanted it.
Yeah.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, the seller, sure, if they're a nice person, they're going to drop the price. But like, who's going to do that? Especially if you gave me like 50 grand of non-refundable money or something. I'm like,
That is crazy.
Sorry,
Yeah,
price
bye.
stays the same.
Price
We'll
stays the
see ya.
same.
see you later.
Next.
Boy, that'd be tough, wouldn't it?
That would be six figures would be tough. Like,
Yeah.
I'm still on that. Rutherford County,
Yeah.
6 figures.
Rutherford County?
Yes,
What does
that
it mean?
has 5 syllables.
Rutherford County?
No.
No, it's no, wait.
Rutherfordton.
It's
Rutherfordton is the
County.
city.
Rutherford
No,
County.
Rutherford County.
Rutherford County
is the
Rutherford
city.
County, sorry.
Yeah,
Once again,
Rutherford
Justin,
County.
IQ.
No, hey, I was confused too. I was like, wait, one of them's Rutherfordton and one's Rutherford. I
Nuclear.
couldn't figure out.
6 figures.
Speaking of
6
nuclear
figures.
and 6 figures, we have to go to a commercial so we can pay
Speaking
for
of
this
6
podcast.
figures.
Yeah, we do. So yeah, we'll be back with some more questions about. I mean, this has been fun. I mean, learning all of this stuff. I mean, your knowledge is definitely you got a high IQ for sure.
Thank you. I
For
appreciate
sure,
that.
for sure. We'll be right back with some more questions, and we'll get into some fun questions, some rapid fire questions. That is Bart's favorite part of the episode of the podcast, and I think now mine and Alan's as well.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we love that. So we'll be right back with Mind Your Business podcast and Miss Linda Strickland. We'll be back.
They're everywhere. Your yard, your kitchen, your bedroom. Invading your home and property, spreading disease, and destroying everything in their path. If you don't act, they'll multiply, crawling ever closer to you and your family. The only thing they fear is the web. Nelon-Cole Termite and Pest Control. Call today for their new service special and save $25. Bugs. Beware of the web.
Welcome back to Mind Your Business podcast. We are here with Linda Strickland, and she's been a blast and a lot of knowledge, right, Bart? I mean, just a ton of knowledge
Absolutely.
today.
And one thing I'll have to throw in real quick is I've dealt with Linda on a lot of houses that what she calls crap shows.
Shit shows.
Oh,
There it is. There it is. I knew we'd bring it out of her. But
Finally.
she can hold a deal together better than anybody I've ever seen. Most realtors, and I got to commend her on this, they could never make these deals stick. I mean, when you go to a seller, you tell that seller, hey, you got $25,000 worth of damage, you got to get this fixed, or you're not selling the house.
Yeah.
Very few realtors have I ever seen hold a deal like that together. She's held multiple deals like that together. I mean, that's amazed me about her.
Yeah.
You remember the kitchen gut
Yes.
and remodel?
Yes.
I had the buyer, and the seller paid for it. And I think Nelon-Cole. I think it was $30,000
Yep.
Yeah.
or something.
Yep.
Wow.
And they paid for it.
Yep.
And I was shocked at that. But yeah, you got to be able to hold it together.
Yeah. So we got a couple more questions for you. You were kind of talking off air on the break how many questions we had for you, and this is not even including the rapid fire questions. The 40 just kind of general questions about you, and you're like, how do you come up with this? I got to give Bart credit on this, okay? Like, I'm just the voice of it.
What?
Like, I just come in and just talk, and that's just all I do because my IQ is not as high as Bart's. But Bart comes up with all. Alan, did you know that?
I know that Bart has a really good credit score.
Yeah, he does. He does.
I don't know that because I haven't been Bart's realtor.
I know he lives in an 8-story house, and there's guns. There's like 2 guns in every square foot of it.
I'll tell you this.
Oh, no.
The last 2 houses I bought, I've put zero money down.
That's awesome.
Because we know how to negotiate.
That's awesome.
Every property I buy for myself, I don't put money down.
There you
either.
go.
If I do, it's very minimal.
Right. I still had to pay closing costs, but
Yeah.
other than that, no.
But do
Yeah,
you move every
so-
2 years?
No, I do not.
I got one better. I don't pay closing costs either.
Oh, wow.
What?
I'm definitely
Well,
calling
maybe
you
you're a
Linda
better
next time.
negotiator.
I am a
Next.
good negotiator. It's my way or no way.
Oh, wow.
So if you were my seller, Justin,
Yes.
I don't know how much due diligence you got. And don't tell me because you can't disclose terms of offers. But
Even I can't.
that's a gray area.
It's
I'm a realtor.
it's
You
my
shouldn't.
property. It's my money.
That's 50 shades
yeah,
of
but you're
gray,
not
buddy.
even closed yet.
That's 50 shades
50
of gray.
shades.
I will be out when this podcast actually airs. 50
That's 50 Shades of Gray.
shades.
I don't know what kind of deal you did or didn't get, but I will say that generally when the buyer's agent calls and says, or they should be calling and saying, what does your seller want to see? I want to see high due diligence. No, we don't want to pay your closing costs. If you need us to pay your closing costs, can you at least offer over? If you needed us to pay $5,000 in closing costs, can you at least offer us $6,000 over? Like, can you do something? Because we're not doing anything. I mean, it's still a seller's market.
Yeah.
So you shouldn't
Yeah.
have to. Depending, obviously there's always got to be some room for flexibility and things like that. But I would say 9 times out of 10, I mean, my job, if I work for you as the seller, my job is to get you the most amount of money for your house that I can possibly get you. And if I work for the buyer, my job is to get that house for the lowest price possible.
Correct.
So, and
Right.
get you all the repairs that I can and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
So, you gotta play for the side that you're on.
So, speaking of closing calls, that goes into one of the last few questions we're going to ask as far as the business aspect of it. What exactly are the closing costs? And how does that work? How are they determined? How much
Nobody
it is?
knows. Nobody knows.
Because it varies from property to property, right? So I would imagine a lot of it has to do with the actual
Tax stamps or something of that nature?
yeah, the land, the house value, all that stuff, right?
So, well, yes and no. So, from a lender aspect, and I'm not a lender, full disclosure, I just happen
Are
to
you
know
going
it.
to become one?
Probably.
No,
Yeah,
I
she used to
thought
be.
about it. No, I thought about it because I'm good with numbers, but then I looked at their commission and mine and decided against it.
25 times 30.
Stop
Bart?
it.
Bart, you're really letting us down.
Hold on. Is it 750?
It is.
I think I got it.
750.
Is it 750?
Yes.
See.
All right, how about this?
I'm checking it.
31 times 13.
No, you're too much.
There you go.
So back to the closing costs.
403.
Are we talking about seller closing costs or are we talking about buyer closing costs?
Both. I didn't know each had closing costs.
Oh, absolutely. So attorney's fees, right? Remember, I manage an attorney's firm. So you have attorney's fees. The buyers are generally higher than the sellers. And then you have your title search. You have title insurance if you're the buyer. You have the closing costs for your lender, like, your loan origination fees and all the things. So in a lending aspect, if I were a lender, and I'm not a lender, but I do know enough about the lending side to say that generally, if you estimate 3% for a buyer's closing cost, it should not exceed that. If it does exceed that, then they might be paying like a lot of points or high origination fees or something like that. But generally, you can take whatever the down payment is and or whatever the purchase price is, multiply it by 3%. That should be their closing cost.
Okay.
And then on the seller's side, that's where you're talking about like the tax stamps. We call them revenue stamps, tax stamps, excise tax. It's all the same thing. It's all interchangeable. So to get that, you take the purchase price of the property, you divide it by 500, and that is your revenue stamps. If you come out with a number that has change, like $900.25 or something, the Register of Deeds does not accept change. So you just round it up to the next dollar. So you have that.
Why can't you round down?
Yeah. So it's a profit racket.
Absolutely not.
Knew
It's
it.
the Register of Deeds.
It's always a money
I
racket.
knew it.
You
Always.
register up, or you round up to the next dollar. And then, of course, you've got your prorations. So your taxes, HOA dues, things like that. And then, of course, part of the seller's closing cost is the
commission.
realtor fees.
Commission.
Mm-hmm.
So is there a standard rate, or does that vary from?
That's a huge Sherman antitrust violation. Absolutely not. It is not a standard rate. Every rate is negotiable. Now, that does not mean that from firm to firm, there's not a firm policy.
Yeah.
So is there a standard rate? Absolutely not. It's always negotiable. But every firm can have a policy.
Because, I mean, when you hear talked about commission and that stuff when it comes to the realtor, it's the typical number that I think I've heard the most is like 6%. That's kind of like the
Nope,
standard.
don't know where you got that number from. There's no standard.
I mean, I'm not saying there's a standard, but that's just the number that I've always heard is 6%.
He pulled it out of his.
I did not pull that out of my
So that.
behind.
There's no standard. Commission is always negotiable, but there are office policies.
Got you.
So if my office policy is that my firm charges X%, then that's what the
That's what
rate
it's gonna
is.
be.
But first of all, the whole 6% thing, you're not the only person that says, "Oh, I thought the standard was 6%." Well, first of all, what are we talking about? Are we talking residential? Or are we talking land? Are we talking commercial?
Yeah.
Those are 3 different animals, and
Are
they
they
all
gonna-
come with different rates.
I'm about to say the percentage is going to change.
Absolutely.
With those. I got you.
Absolutely. Well, first of all, commercial, it could take you a year.
Well, you
to
think
sell
if you
it.
got a $10,000 lot and you tell somebody you're going to give them $600 for selling it, they're going to be like, Psh, I'm not even wasting my time on that.
And that's what I mean when I say commission is negotiable. We can do flat fee commit. We could set it up however we want to.
Yeah.
If I want to, do every deal for $1, I can do that.
So does your firm have a set rate? Or?
Sure do. Can't tell you what it is.
Okay. All right.
That would be a violation of the Sherman.
Yeah, the
Antitrust.
Sherman mark.
Do you know that was named after Curtis Sherman from Lattimore? He's the one that developed that law.
Oh wow! I didn't know that. So you can't tell me that until I
Don't
become
probably
your
correct.
client.
Sherman. Yeah.
I can tell you that outside of a podcast.
I got you. All right. Fair enough. Last
Y'all
question.
Really don't believe the Curtis Sherman thing?
No, I'm totally ignoring you on that. Lattimore, get out of here with that. Last question before we get to the rapid fire is: what advice would you give buyers and sellers when choosing a realtor?
Oh,
to call Linda Strickland.
there
it
that
is.
was coming. I knew.
What a
Call
classic
Linda
answer.
Strickland
Yes.
from Linda Strickland Real Estate,
Awesome.
and we're going to make sure that you get taken care of.
That's awesome. Linda, thank you so much for that information. That's been, seriously, it's been very informative. So now we're going to have some fun with you.
I think I gave you
I'm scared.
the rapid fire questions.
Well, this is quite a change.
What a change. 2024, bringing it here. I'm doing it. No, I'm just kidding. Here you go, Bart.
You're welcome to do it.
No.
Yeah,
This
I'm
is
I'm
you,
blind.
man.
I can't see it anyway. I don't have my
Should have to
glasses on.
see
This is
it
you.
now. Yeah, it has to be encrypted.
I can't see it. I don't have my glasses on.
All right, rapid fire.
So Bart's going to ask you a question. You're going to give the answer. You have typically 2 choices, maybe 3 here and there. And then Alan and I, what we do is make fun of your answers.
You have 3 seconds to answer.
That's it?
That's how it
Otherwise,
goes.
we'll hit the buzzer.
This just gives our hundreds of thousands of followers a chance to get to know you a little bit better as a person.
Yeah.
Ooh, I'm scared. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, first question. Which would you prefer? An RC Cola and a moon pie or Coca-Cola with peanuts poured into them?
Not even close.
I would have to pick the Coke with peanuts.
You
Yes.
chose poorly.
No, I agree with her.
Moon pie.
Both wrong.
First of all, can we talk about the moon pie? What the heck is the moon pie?
It's like
It's not the
It's like
moon pie.
marshmallow and chocolate. I don't like
The
moon
whole
pies.
reason you
They
take
even
that.
make lemon moon pies.
They do.
They do. I think no. Do they? Yeah,
Yeah.
maybe they do. Yeah, maybe they do.
No, no,
Yeah.
no. The moon pie isn't the deal breaker in that deal. It's the RC.
What's wrong with the
That's what you-
RC?
nothing. That's what.
What
you
is wrong
want.
with
I like
RC?
RC Cola. I just
You
didn't
know,
like
that's
the
what
moon
I'm saying.
pie.
That's what you pick that for.
Well, no.
I get it, I
didn't
get
want
it.
the moon pie.
I actually bought an
I'm
RC the
fat.
other
I
day.
like food.
Yeah.
I
Listen,
don't care
listen.
about the drink.
Listen, Linda, listen.
Listen, Linda. Listen.
Listen, Linda,
Listen to me, Linda.
alliteration.
So yeah. So have you ever tried like peanuts in a Coke though?
Absolutely not. I
Okay,
just knew I'd rather
so-
eat that.
You should try honey roasted peanuts and put it in a Coke.
Pour them in the bottle. Yeah.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
just pour them right in the Coca-Cola.
My
You got to
gosh.
get a glass bottle,
It's
too.
good.
My gosh.
Wow, will it explode if I use a plastic one? Like the Mentos.
Like the
you know how
Mentos.
you put
I
the
just think
Mentos
the
in
glass
it?
No.
bottle tastes better.
Oh, okay.
Okay, at happy hour, could we find you with a pina colada or a margarita?
Margarita. For sure.
Me, that pina colada. I don't like margarita. I
Pina
can't,
coladas.
I
One
can't
for each
sip.
hand.
Yeah,
Two
probably.
pina coladas.
Probably. I can't sip tequila. Like I can take shots, but I can't.
Tequila.
I can't drink margaritas because it's like the taste of tequila. I can't.
Have you ever heard of the drink clear gummy bear?
What?
No.
It's something that you can get at I think Copper Penny.
Does
Ain't that-
Vintage Dog have this thing?
The vintage dog.
It probably does.
Lorcan could
I've heard
tell
it's
you.
really good. I've heard it's really good.
No.
Lorgan.
The clear
Okay.
gummy bear.
If you had to pick
Try it.
one of these for a pet,
Oh,
which
God.
one would you pick?
I love it.
An anteater or an anaconda?
Seriously?
My anaconda don't want none.
Right. I don't even think I know fully what an anteater is, but I'm going to go with that just because
Yeah.
of the song he just.
Nobody wants an anaconda, you know. Not in their house.
Not in this
Yeah, they
room
do. Sir
anyway.
Mix-a-Lot does. Yeah. He does. What did I miss?
They missed it.
Damn it.
God, it was the best joke ever. It's so great.
Sir Mix-a-Lot has failed me.
It's so great.
You'll catch it when you go do some editing.
Please make sure that joke is like pronounced. If anybody missed that just now, that was
I
amazing.
don't think Bart heard it either.
Oh
That's
my
okay.
God, that was amazing.
He'll hear it next Tuesday.
Better vacation destination. Caribbean cruise or snow skiing in Colorado?
Caribbean.
Yes.
We go on cruises multiple times a year.
Cool.
I love
Nice.
cruising. I love cruising.
Better 80s singer. Tina
Oh,
Turner or Lionel Richie?
Oh, not even close.
I mean Tina Turner, but my favorite 80s band is Poison, so, you know.
Failure again.
Right, girl.
Me?
Fail.
You don't
Lionel
like
Richie.
Poison?
No, I love Poison.
Oh.
But they weren't an option. It was
Well,
Tina
I
Turner or
know.
Lionel
I
Richie.
make-
Well, it's okay.
What's
I mean,
wrong with Tina Turner?
well, if I said best hair band, you'd obviously
Well,
say
yeah,
Poison.
exactly.
No.
Who's it?
They were fine with CeCe DeVille, but when they got Richie Kotzen on guitar when he replaced CeCe DeVille, they
here
were
we
much
go.
better.
Okay, wait a minute. I didn't even know they replaced CC DeVille. Like,
Yeah, they made
that's-
the Native Tongue album with Richie Zito producing and Richie Kotzen was on guitar, but they only let him do it for one album because he was sleeping around with the drummer's girlfriend.
Wow.
Yeah,
I didn't
that
know
makes
Wow.
a big difference.
Drummer girl wanted the game
The
condom.
music quality goes down when that happens. A better movie, Titanic or Jaws?
Jaws.
Ding, ding, ding.
Wow, nice.
Which game would you be more likely to play with your kids, Twister or Cornhole?
Cornhole.
Are you
Good
good?
one, yeah.
Are you good at cornhole?
No.
No.
My son is.
That's awesome.
Which song from which artist? Okay, let me start over. Which one of these artists would you be more likely to find a song on your playlist, AC/DC or Phil Collins?
Probably AC/DC.
They're both really good.
I was going to say both, but probably AC/DC.
Better dessert, chocolate eclair or apple pie with vanilla ice cream?
Ooh. See, you threw in the vanilla ice cream.
Chocolate eclair, but only because my mother-in-law makes it for like every holiday, and it's really good.
It's really good. Yeah.
If you can beat that ice cream.
That's tough.
Better pizza place, Pizza Hut or Domino's?
Pizza Hut.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think
Easy.
we're all in agreement on that.
Easy.
Yeah.
Domino's, a long time ago, they started putting that garlic or whatever it is.
It's too much.
I can't.
It's too much on the crust. Like, get out
It's
of
too
here.
much.
Get out of
Very
here.
garlicky.
If you
Yeah.
could own one or the other, which would you have? Luxury yacht or private jet?
Well,
Probably
since you cruise, I'm going to guess the yacht.
Well, no. Actually, I would do the jet because I could just
Whoa.
go cruise, and I like flying too. So, yeah, it'd probably be the jet.
That's sweet.
Which is the better woman's handbag, Coach or Telfar?
Well, I've never heard of
Telfar.
Telfar, and I definitely never would have a Coach. So, Michael Kors, the third
I
option.
knew she was going to go
didn't
Michael
put that
Kors.
on there.
No,
You should put that
we're
on there.
following
You
the
didn't pay
rules.
attention to the video. That was a Michael Kors bag I was
Wow.
wearing in the
Didn't
video.
know.
Wow.
Okay, would you be more likely to parasail or go hang gliding?
Neither. I'm scared of heights.
Yeah.
Really? So, like, no heights at all? Like, no roller coaster or anything like that?
But you want
No,
the plane.
no, I can't. I can
But
do
you want the plane.
Well, yeah, but like that's because you're
I'm scared of heights,
inside.
but I take the plane.
But you're still high.
Yeah, but you're inside. But
Oh,
I
more
can't
ways
be
than
like,
one.
I got you.
I can do roller coasters. I just can't do like climbing a mountain or something and then you look down.
Oh,
like
yeah.
it's like then my stomach feels funny and I feel nauseous.
Okay, this next one is a yes or no, and it is a two-part question.
Oh, wow.
Have you ever played strip poker?
No,
That's a no?
So
no.
I
I
would
don't
ask
even know how to play poker.
I was going to ask if you won or lost, so the answer's the same question. All right, if you were stranded in the woods and you could have one survival item, what would it be?
Survival item.
I mean, what's a survival item? I guess a knife, so I could kill some animals to eat them and build a
You can
fire.
pick
That's,
anything you want.
that's a great start.
I mean, is that
fire
a survival?
starter, a
Yeah,
knife?
yeah.
A knife would be great.
A
Just
knife.
one?
I feel like you could make a fire with a knife, right? Like you rub the metal on
I
something.
mean, you got to find
don't know.
something else metal.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure we could figure something out.
You're on an island.
There's no metal on an island.
You got wood.
You
Where
could
you gonna
cut
find
wood
metal?
with
What
the knife
depends.
and
If
rub it
there's-
together and make a friction fire.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And if you're on an island, then there's probably a sea nearby. And I promise you, people throw trash in the sea. You're going to find something, metal, something somewhere.
Something metal.
Something
Yeah.
metal.
Around the-
She's just waiting. She's just waiting around.
She was confident about that answer too.
Yes,
I would
I am
find something
confident.
metal.
I would.
Yes.
Find something in the sea.
And if I don't find anything metal, then like you said, I'll just break the knife and use it to rub together. Yeah.
How you break the knife? There's no
Wait,
vice grip
wait.
on the island.
You underestimate the power of Linda Strickland.
Wow.
There you
Clearly.
Wow.
Okay, now
Well,
I want to
that's-
see her literally break a knife.
That's all for rapid
Depends on how
fire.
much I'm hungry, like how hungry I am.
Yeah.
Like I might get
that was
hungry enough
great.
to break something.
That's all for rapid fire?
That is all for rapid
So
fire.
in 2024, we're still sticking to just 15, huh?
That's all I got for tonight.
Okay. All right. That's all Linda could handle anyway.
It was.
I mean, she is like questioned out.
Well, she's so anxious to make these football picks for this weekend.
Yeah, she is.
That's why I had
That's
to leave
why-
it at 15 questions.
So we're so far, like we've been going
Oh,
so
Lord.
long. We have national champions. The NFL season's over. We're in the NFL playoffs. We're in the championship games, the NFC and AFC championship game.
NBA? No.
I mean, we might after football, after the Super Bowl. I mean, the Pro Bowl gets more, and they play flag football now, and they get more attention than
I
an
know.
NBA game.
I
So-
know it does. It's sad.
But anyway, Linda, I know you already know this. The Chiefs and Ravens play in the AFC Championship game.
I actually do. Are we talking about the Kansas City Chiefs?
Yes.
I do know who that
Of
is.
course you know who it is because of Taylor Swift.
No.
Oh,
No. What? No.
She's like poison. She don't even know who Taylor Swift is.
Right. No, I do know who Taylor Swift is. No, that's not why I know. My mother worked with, what's his name? Ryan Sims? His mother.
Who?
Ryan Sims. He doesn't play for him anymore, but like
Oh, he
years
used to play.
ago,
He used to-
Ryan
Yep,
Sims, my mother worked with his mother. And
Okay.
so we went to their house in Spartanburg.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
That's as much as I know.
That's as much as you know.
That's all you need to know to make a pick.
Hey, I remember his Hummer. That was back when Hummers were.
For what a thing?
Yeah, were a thing.
Yeah, that's awesome. All right, so they're playing the Kansas City Chiefs are playing the Ravens at Baltimore. The spread is Baltimore's favored by 4. So Bart, who you got to win the AFC to go to the Super Bowl?
I got to go Chiefs.
Wow, you're going with the upset.
Yep.
Wow. You know the NFL's scripted, right? So they already know like what's going to happen.
Right.
Oh, don't say
The
that.
colors of have you seen this going on? You might have seen this on TikTok. The thing that's going around, like the Super Bowl logo colors, has predicted the team that's going to play in the Super Bowl like
Right.
the last 7 years or something.
Right.
And the colors right now, I mean, I won't give it away, but I will let everyone pick their teams, but I'll give it at the end. Alan, who you going with?
Baltimore. They're the healthier team. They look great. Kansas City's vulnerable. Baltimore.
It's good analysis there.
Yeah, very
Sportscaster.
good.
Wow. All right. Who you going with? Linda?
I don't know either one of them, so I guess Kansas City Chiefs.
There you go. Good
Yeah.
job. Good job.
Taylor Swift.
Although that is the
Stop Taylor Swift. I don't listen to
She's
Taylor
dating
Swift.
Travis Kelce, their tight end.
that's why we're saying that.
Oh, okay. Well, I didn't know that, so yeah.
But terrible pick. Sorry.
Me?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Baltimore wins. Me and
Yeah.
Alan are right on this.
That's right. They'll go.
And they cover the spread easy. I
Cover
think.
the spread. Yep.
easy. I think
How do you
they've
know
been.
they win?
How do I know?
Yeah.
We know.
I mean, I just
We know people.
They're making predictions.
I've seen.
You
the
were
future.
looking on the colors of
Their
the
colors are on the That's
Yeah, so that's one reason.
That's why he's picking.
That's
them.
one. Yeah, the it's like the purple part of it, and then the other color is going to be the next team that I pick. So, which is against the Lions, the Detroit Lions, famous for Eminem. What's up?
Yeah, he was at the last
Ted
game.
Nugent.
I'm not afraid.
Please do that again with the camera on you.
No.
I'd switched it to Bart.
Okay, you want me to do it again?
Yes.
I'm not afraid. We gotta stay on track. We gotta hurry up. We're going way too long. All right, it's the Detroit Lions and San Francisco 49ers, which is something like you can relate to this one. Christian McCaffrey, that's who he plays for now.
Okay.
So
he
there you
plays
go.
for the 49ers.
He plays for the 49ers.
Did not know that, so I'm going to go with the 49ers. Okay.
There's her
That's
pick.
right
There's
off
her
the bat. Christian plays for him. That's who I'm going
That's
with.
who I'm going
He's
with.
got a house for sale.
I was going to say if he would have let me sell his house, maybe I shouldn't go for him. Who was the other team?
Detroit.
I'm going for Detroit.
Oh, she changed.
Is it Detroit or
Yeah.
Detroit?
How do you say that? Linda,
I
with
think
all pronunciations
I
right?
think it depends on
here we go.
the context.
Let's ask
because
Eminem.
I would
Don't take Detroit
say
out of
Detroit,
context.
but I think I would also say Detroit. I think it would depend on the conversation.
Alan, reach out to Eminem and ask him.
Let me text him.
Text him real quick.
Right.
Bart, who you going with?
Lions play crappy on the road. They can't be beaten at home, but they're on the road. San Fran.
San Fran. Also, San Fran's a 7-point favorite. Alan, who you got?
I got mixed on this one, man. I want McCaffrey to win. I do. The old Panther.
Yeah.
But I'm going to pull so hard for Detroit just because they've sucked for so long. I would love to see them in the Super Bowl. I'm going to say Detroit just because that would be the
He's going to will it to happen.
Yeah. So the script calls for San Francisco. That's the other color in the logo. So you got the purple and the red. That's the logo for this year's Super Bowl. So as much as I'm with you, Alan, I would love to see Detroit and
I'd love to see
the Ravens play each other, but I just don't think it's going to happen. I think it's going to be San Francisco to win this game.
And
too.
I'll still be happy because McCaffrey will get to play for a
Right.
ring. That'll be good.
Right. So that's the football picks. I mean, we don't have
McCaffrey's going to go
25,000.
from the team with the worst record in the league to winning a Super Bowl.
Crazy.
I mean, next year.
Like literally the worst deal Carolina has have. I mean, other than hiring their.
Well, it's funny
owner
how he
now.
hasn't been hardly hurt all year at San Francisco, and he only played 3 games a year at Carolina.
Yeah, because they used him too much. Mm-hmm. And Linda is just loving this conversation again.
But that's all. That's all the games. That's all we got.
Yeah, we don't have like 25 games this time to cover. We'll get into that more though when college basketball season. You have to come back and do our March Madness bracket. Do you know what I'm talking about? Nope. Sure.
No, I've heard of March Madness. Sure. Yeah, I'll come back.
Do we remember?
You should sponsor that.
Do we remember who we picked for the national title? Because I remember I picked Texas, and that didn't work out.
I picked Alabama because of what Santa told me, and Nick Saban retiring, so I figured they'd let him go out on Sunset.
I picked Washington.
Wow.
And I wanted to pick Washington.
That was tough.
Texas
So-
answer.
That was tough.
I failed.
Well, Linda, if somebody wanted to use you, how would they get in touch with you?
They can call me. My telephone number is area
Old-fashioned
code
phone call.
980-989-9415. You can also go to www.lindastricklandre.com. Or you can email me at info@lindastricklandre.com. You can find me on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, all the...
You mean X?
X.
Yeah,
It's
not
X
Twitter.
now.
What?
It's called X.
It's not Twitter anymore. It's X.
Oh, I don't use Twitter. I don't even know why I said that. Yeah, not Twitter. Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. And I've only posted one whole TikTok video.
Nice. It's more than me.
Was
I
it
don't
you
have
skipping?
a TikTok.
Because we got some fantastic ones here of Bart skipping.
No, it was the video that I showed Bart earlier.
That is true. I forgot about that video.
I did try to post one before that, but I really don't know how to use TikTok. So my older son, he'll be 15 in a month. He is obsessed with Michael Myers, which some people think is really creepy. I kind of do
Killer?
sometimes.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my
This is a
gosh.
whole
We gotta go. We gotta go.
conversation.
Because we're gonna be here
This
another hour.
podcast
Yeah,
is all
cut it.
over
No,
now.
okay.
This is
we'll
awesome.
talk about it later.
No,
but
we can talk about it right now.
I
just
say
opened
that
a
to
can.
say, my son still to this day, like he was in his costume like yesterday. Like he will go everywhere in that costume. He
my
genuinely
God.
likes
Awesome.
it. So back in like December, we tried to post a Michael Myers video, and apparently we didn't do it right, so it didn't actually like post. But yes, he let like especially during Christmas. Oh, he was outside, so we put like a full Christmas tree on the front porch.
That is awesome.
He was outside in his
I gotta
Michael
meet this guy.
Myers costume.
I gotta meet this guy.
With a Santa hat on.
This is what you don't realize.
I-
You say, "Oh, I idolize Tracy Wisnett." I really looked up to. Justin looks up to serial killers in movies.
Yes.
My
He
son
loves
does
Michael
too.
Myers.
My son does too. He
Look.
is completely obsessed.
My daughter is 6. She was watching Uncle Mike, as she calls him, when she was 3. All
It's
right.
funny.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know how young Cameron was, but he was younger when he started watching Michael Myers. And as a child, I was obsessed with Michael Myers.
So next time you come onto our podcast, Cameron comes, and me and him's going to have a talk
Oh
about.
my gosh.
He begged me to let him come tonight.
Oh,
And I-
man, we could
yeah,
have just
and I told him that.
a couple of guys chalking it up, talking about Mike.
He's really camera shy too. So
And all
Is
the
he?
people that he's murdered ruthlessly.
Yeah.
well, that's why. So like it's fine because I loved Michael Myers as a child too. But like obviously, I wonder if my
Awesome.
child's going to be a serial killer because this is like past Halloween. Now we're Michael Myers with a freaking Santa hat on. Like
Yeah.
If I were you, I'd keep your axes locked up.
right,
He doesn't use an axe. He uses a butcher knife.
right, yes.
Get it right, Alan.
And even to the point, I told you my HOA is like off the chain, right?
Yeah.
So they made a post because he was outside walking around in his Michael Myers costume, and somebody was telling them to call the police because it wasn't Halloween. And somebody else was like, isn't that the same Michael Myers kid from Halloween? I'm pretty sure either that one or its brother is autistic. Like, it's not a big deal. So what? It's not Halloween. And I'm just like, really, guys? Really? Like, you can tell from his stature that he is not a grown man.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like a whole thing. And I was
You
like,
say that, and then he's on the news because he wiped out 6 whole families.
No, I get really conflicting feelings about it. Like on the one hand, I want to be like the mother in me is like it's fine, but then on the other hand, I'm like, is my kid gonna be a serial killer? Like, what's wrong with?
I
them?
worry about that with my Lily Grace. I have a feeling that she's not going to live up to her middle name.
Funny.
Not going to be Grace.
I have a niece with the same name.
Really?
Oh, actually, her name is Lily Jane Grace.
That's awesome.
But yeah.
That's awesome. Well, it's been awesome. Typically, how we end the podcast, we were doing this in 2023, and I think it should continue.
Justin usually sings us out.
No, I don't. No, I don't. Do you know any your mama jokes?
Oh, gosh.
I mean, probably.
You gotta
Yes,
know. You
then-
gotta know one.
I
At
mean, I
least one.
probably do, but
Take
I don't
us out
think
with
about
one
no,
your mama joke.
Yes,
No, that
yes.
is so unprofessional.
I got one.
Absolutely not.
This whole podcast is unprofessional.
No, I get it, but no,
It's a
I can't.
podcast.
I can't make a your mama joke.
Wow. She let me down, man.
I got
I'm
one, but I
sorry.
can't remember if we used it or not. It was
It's 2024.
Don't forget the cancel culture. I don't want my firm canceled next week. I'm good.
We've been canceled this whole time.
Oh my gosh, no, you haven't, because I keep Bart in business. So.
Alan, you want to say it? You want to do it?
we probably already used it. It was your mama's so fat. Let's see. Your mama's so fat that when someone says it's chilly outside, she grabs a bowl.
I was gonna text my son
Have
and
we
be
done
like,
that
"Tell
one
me a
before?
your mama joke."
I don't
No,
think
no,
so.
that
Okay.
You talked
Yeah.
about the one like
The Super Bowl.
the Super Bowl
bringing her
one.
own
Yeah,
spoon to the
you
Super
talked
Bowl.
about that, but not the chili
And
outside.
the KFC, what size bowl would you like? The one on the
One on the top. One on the top. Oh, that's great.
I'll get one for next time.
All right, next
All
time.
right,
Next time
next
she's
time.
gonna. So next time she's not gonna be worried about getting canceled.
Right.
What? I'm the only one. What about yours, Justin?
Your mama's so fat her belt size the equator. I mean, that's taking it back to third grade.
I think we've had that one.
No,
We've had that one.
no way,
I think we had that one.
no way.
I think you actually
All right,
said
all right,
that.
all right, all right. Your mama's so poor.
Poor.
Yeah, we're going
Changing
poor.
the
Yeah,
game here.
we're going poor. I walked in her house and lit a match, and the cockroach started singing, "Stomp your hands, clap." No, whoa. Clap your hands, stomp your feet. Praise the God, we got some heat.
For real.
All right, your mama's so poor. She was kicking a can down the street. I asked her what she was doing. She said, "I'm moving."
For real.
Yeah, for real.
I got one. It's your daddy. Your daddy's so poor that every Sunday he would take his family out for a push.
Dang.
I was gonna say gay. What? Like what?
Rather than a
man.
Sunday drive, you have a Sunday push.
Wow.
So if you got to explain the joke,
That's probably not a good one.
no, it's not good.
But say, I think the difference
Your mama-
is my IQ. It's just
Your mama's so poor. I walked in the front door and walked out the back.
Yeah. I remember that one.
one door.
I mean,
Yeah.
That's it. That's all you got.
Walked in the front and fell out the back.
Wow.
Well, Linda, you've been great. Thanks for coming.
Bart's trying to.
Bart's pushing it into this. We gotta get
I
out
don't
of here.
understand how this is definitely 2024 because Bart is trying to make it back on the rails and he's normally the one taking us off.
Yeah.
I'm the one that's normally trying to keep us on. If you believe
That's
that
a
or
lot
not.
of
I
lemon
don't.
juice.
I
You
know.
have officially held our longest podcast thus far.
I feel like we say that to every guest.
Yeah.
Like the
Gets
next
longer
guest
every
to go
time.
like
By
3
the
By the
hours.
time we get to the 12th podcast, it's going to be 4 hours
We're
long.
gonna have to break it up in segments. Like it's gonna be a 2-part, like the Titanic when
Next
you used to
week,
watch
part
that.
3 of this podcast. Yeah.
Thanks, guys. Now I don't feel special.
No, you are.
No,
you are.
you are special.
No, seriously, Lynn, it's been awesome. A lot of information, a lot of fun too. I appreciate you giving all that information out. Like that's a lot of stuff to take in, and I hope that people who are watching this has a little more better grasp on like what all goes into selling a home, buying a home. Because with that information, it just makes your job easier and makes their experience better.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I gave you a whole like 1%.
1% of what all goes into
I don't
it.
see how anybody would buy a house without an advocate. I mean, that had
Yeah.
that information or sell a house. I mean, it just.
Yeah, for sure.
I think generally people that come to us and they've bought or sold prior to using a realtor usually discover that something went wrong somewhere. But you know, too little, too late. You can't come back later. Should have used us in the first place. And it's actually funny because for sale by owners, believe it or not, are actually they are required to still give property disclosures, mineral oil and gas rights disclosures. So we call those the RPODs and the MOG, and they are found on the NCREC website. But they don't know that, and the buyer doesn't know because the buyer is not represented. When, if in fact you had been given a copy of that residential property disclosure and the mineral oil and gas rights disclosure, then you would have known that something was could have known, maybe known. It depends on if they would have disclosed. It is a buyer beware state, so the seller is not obligated to disclose. But the value in having an agent is that while the seller is not required to disclose, we as the agent are. So on that property disclosure, the seller can say no representation, which essentially means I don't know, I don't care, go figure it out yourself. But if I reasonably know there is something wrong, I have to disclose that. So yeah, definitely not. I'll never understand why people do things on their own. I think that in every industry, right, no matter what it is, closing gifts or anything, we're like, well, I can go buy a printer and do that myself. Well, yeah, I can, but am I going to? That doesn't mean that I'm good at it or I'm knowledgeable enough or I should.
I should.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, everybody has their strengths, everybody has their weaknesses.
Absolutely.
You know?
And we all pay for services that we find, valuable. So,
right.
I think every buyer and seller should have a realtor advocate.
Yeah. That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, we're going to wrap this up for Mind Your Business podcast. I've had a blast. Linda, have you had a blast?
I have. I've learned some things.
That's awesome.
She learned about Curtis Sherman.
Yeah.
That's right.
From Lattimore.
Yeah.
From Lattimore.
Lattimore. Bart, have you had a blast?
Been great.
Alan?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, it's been
Sing
awesome.
us out.
I'm not singing this out.
Sing us out with some Lionel Richie.
Oh, yeah.
No, not going to happen.
Come on.
Dancing
No,
on
it's
the
not gonna happen.
ceiling.
Dancing on the ceiling. That's
Dancing
the one
on
you
the
picked.
ceiling.
He was in the Commodores, and you picked that one.
That's awesome. All right, so our next podcast won't be. We won't wait for another month and a half before we put another one out. We'll be probably next week or the week after. We'll be back on a regular schedule now with the podcast. I hope you have missed us as much as we missed you guys doing this. Probably not. But we're back. So stay on the lookout. You can get this on YouTube. You can get that on Nelon-Cole website page. Alan does a great job with the lights and cameras and putting it up for us. He does all the editing. Literally, I don't do nothing with this podcast but come in and
prepared.
talk. No, I don't.
Got your list. Bart does that. Right?
Bart does
Bart
that.
does the list.
Bart does the list. Alan does the editing, and I just talk. That's all I do.
Justin goes home.
That's what I do. Yeah, that's all I do. But yeah, so join us again. We'll be back better than ever. I hope you have a great night, great afternoon, great morning, great twilight. However you're watching this, whenever you're watching.
Great twilight.
Look, listen, this is how bad it is. I show up and I can't even do my job right. I can't even talk right.
This has been the Elmer Fudd podcast. Everybody have a great twilight.
It's been
Everyone
amazing.
have great twilight.
Great twilight. Good night. Talk to you next time on Mind Your Business podcast.
What a feeling. Dancing on the ceiling.